see here. We are recapping for last session. Last time in Renascence, you guys had stopped in the realm of Deepholm, the domain of Lady Magdalene, as sort of the halfway point between your starting point and your destination at Melatambos, where you are supposed to drop off the twins, Kyron and Endymion, for their father, a newly minted archfey, who is in the process of reclaiming land to claim as his domain. You guys found yourselves some swanky digs at a fancy upscale hotel at the top of the city.
But not that swanky. The service was terrible.
Well, it was good until they tried to kidnap the twins. At which point, Noelle thankfully heard one of them close the door a little bit too loudly, rushed outside, saw a foot rounding the corner, and teleported in front of them. What followed was a very swift and surgical execution of this group. You guys subdued two of them. Aldrin fucking splattered the third one who was trying to flee across
no, he was like
a
that
wall.
when he got here.
Well, allegedly. And you guys learned that High Water had kind of made the rounds in Deepholm and made some contact with a number of people, it seemed like, to try and secure these kids whenever they arrived. So, knowing that, you guys handed over the two captive kidnappers to the proper authorities and got back to sleep. The next morning, you guys split up, went to go take care of various bits of business around town. And a couple of you went to the keep of the Lady Magdalene, where you found those two kidnappers being hung from the parapets. The Lady Magdalene, for her part, was happy to see you guys, more than willing to accommodate your request for more maps and a little bit more explanation on what exactly was in your path ahead.
Well, she was extremely happy to see one of us anyway.
A couple of you, actually. And you guys ended up having a conversation about which route you wanted to take in light of this information. You were told that the route due south of Deepholm was the shortest, but also the most heavily patrolled. There was a route, if you were to leave through the western gate of Deepholm, and then head south through sort of the eastern edge of a region called the Sodden Vale, which was the domain of an aspiring lord named Baron Vikert. By Magdalene's description, he was a real piece of shit and not someone to be trifled with, but as far as she knew, he was not aligned with High Water. So if you were willing to risk passing through his domain and tacking a few more days onto your trip, you could dodge more of High Water's forces by taking that road. And while she advised against it, she did let you know that Caesimian moved with his host directly through the Sodden Vale, completely avoiding High Water entirely, and just marching due west through rugged country all the way to the keep. This would be the longest possible route, and you would be exposed to Vikert's realm more so on this path, which would pose more bodily harm than political harm, but it was an option, just not one she would have recommended. So, you guys sat down, you talked about it, decided to take the south road, and set out. You had 3 days out from sort of the edge of the domain to what's called Morian's Wall, this massive sort of glacial wall in front, or in between, I should say, Deepholm's territory and High Water's on the far side of it. And passing through it, continue onwards. You guys began the trek through the wilderness. You passed some of High Water's surveillance magic, these sort of eye stone cairns that are scattered across the countryside here. You also encountered a lone forward ranger of High Waters, a fella named Thandrir, and took care of that little bit of business very, very swiftly.
Whoops.
Got some intel out of him. And you guys now have a much clearer picture of exactly where the camps are that are supposedly kind of littering this route. There's a couple kind of tucked away on the mountain slopes to either side of you as you continue to the valley, and that there are 4 in succession once you leave the valley and begin making your way for Highwater's border proper. So, we are picking up. It is your 30th day in the Feywild. Today, the weather is relatively calm, I believe. Where's the fucking... There we go.
This is the next morning, full long rest?
This would be the next morning after full long rest.
Okay.
Weather's fairly clear and cool. No rain, no significant wind to speak of. It's just kind of a pleasant morning, if a little brisk.
I do have a small kind of retconny question, but I meant to do this before we left Deep Home. It's just a piece of intel that Noelle would have been seeking. Specifically, one thing that's kind of been a big point over the course of this is that we have a hard time kind of telling time here because of the way the sun never sets. Noelle would have asked the shopkeepers in Deep Home how they track when to open, when to close, and what time of day they know it is.
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
I like the idea that they all actually run on clocks, and then once a year there's like an annual set clock day. It's like the ball drop for New Year's, but that's like, okay, everybody ready? Now!
Someone in the Feywild has an atomic clock somewhere.
So I think what you would have found about Deep Home is... Deep Home maintains synchronicity with the larger Feywild outside. Archfey do have some control over their realms, their weather and the passage of time to an extent. But Maglan keeps things pretty synced up with the outside world. So you do have just kind of that circling sun at all times. The way Deep Home operates is when a portion of the city is in shadow due to being on the far side of kind of the central pillar from the sun, that portion of the city goes to sleep. It just kind of rotates depending on where you live or work. So...
Does it rotate slow enough that people can get 8 hours of sleep in darkness, or no? Or in shadow, I guess?
It's roughly about the same amount of time as a day on the material plane.
So long as we know where the sun is in the sky, we have a clock.
Yes.
Okay. That would be the kind of trick Noelle would be looking for, is like an understanding of like, if I hold up a compass and it says north and the sun is, over there, then I know it's probably around 4 p.m. or whatever.
Yeah. I will say, too, since you're looking at it, you would probably note with some curiosity that the sun does not seem to have shifted at all in terms of its orientation to you as you've traveled south. You guys have gone several hundred miles at this point, at least 200 or 300 miles, and you would expect, crossing latitudes like that the sun would eventually start drifting further and further north in the sky. But without fail, it has remained pretty much directly overhead, kind of circling the horizon in the same path the entire time you've been here. That has not changed anywhere except for in the realm, or in the vicinity of Baba Grika's Demezin, where it started to sink below the horizon.
Okay. Well, that is actually tremendously useful to know, because do compasses work here? I assume they do.
Do you have a compass on you?
I do, actually.
Okay. I will say you have had mixed results with your compass. There have been days of travel where it has been relatively steady and has consistently pointed, north-south without too much issue. But there have been days, and I'll probably ask you for an intelligence check to find a pattern. But there have been days where you've noticed that the compass is much less stable, and it either spins or bends in a different direction, seemingly arbitrarily.
Okay.
Can I help with the intelligence check?
Sure, yeah.
Just straight intelligence?
Yeah, I'll just do straight intelligence.
Okay. Oh, shit. That is a 19.
Okay.
Nice.
You can think of a few reasons why this might be. Given that this compass is built for the material plane, using material plane components, materials, it is possible that you are moving in the vicinity of objects that or structures that may be drawing the compass's needle, may be reorientating magnetically. You imagine it could also be magical in nature. You know the Feywild is pretty suffused with the stuff, and that could be having an impact. Although why it's stable some days and not so much other days would probably require more dedicated investigation on that front.
Honestly, the more I think about it, the less I think a compass should work here. I mean, it's not what magnetic north is it pointing to exactly? This is like a non-Euclidean world.
I was getting to that part. It would have struck you that, given that you guys have traveled unearthly roads that behave in non-Euclidean ways, I'm glad you came up with that word because I was looking for it. You wonder if maybe you haven't passed in the vicinity of places connected to those sorts of sort of border realms that may be interfering with the compass's orientation.
Okay, this is turning more complicated than I want, but would I have been able to purchase a Feywild compass while we were in Deep Home? Because if I was asking questions and we're retconning this, I think Noelle would have sought something like that, so she could have a sense of orientation in the Feywild so that we could track time with the sun.
Okay. I will say I feel like when you asked about compasses, you would probably find yourself like a little specialty shop that just has just walls of these things, just like hanging up by strings and set up on shelves. And it probably would have been a process to convey exactly what you want this compass to do, because as the shopkeeper would have been delighted to tell you, they have compasses for all occasions.
I don't know what that means.
If you're looking for your true love, if you're looking for a way back home,
You have a
if
true
you're
love
looking
compass?
yes,
I
of
buy
course.
that 100%.
Oh, wait, no. Ask the price first. That's important.
Okay, I mean, I wouldn't just hand him a bag of coins. I would be curious, though.
Sure.
Bear the point to me.
50 gold.
50 gold for a true love compass? I don't even
Yeah.
care if it's bullshit. I'm gonna buy that.
Sure.
It points at Aldrin the whole time. No, this compass
Noelle's
is
gonna
wrong.
keep it
You
closed.
beat me
She's
to
not
it.
gonna look at it herself.
I was 100% going to go there. You just keep looking, it's like pointing the
It
order the
just
whole
points to
time.
the most attractive person in your immediate vicinity. That's what the enchantment does.
No. You're like, oh God, damn it! This thing points to true lust, not true love.
I just imagine like
I give it a
like
lust
he's flicking
compass.
between Aldrin and John. It's like,
It's fucking gold. Yeah. All right. So you got the true love compass.
Actually runs the compass is a freaking little fae that's like, it just ships everyone.
yeah,
So the compass points at its favorite ships.
exactly. Anyway, could I buy normal compass too?
Yes, he would eventually be able to point you. The compass that he gives you is actually a pretty sturdy-looking contraption. This thing has got some heft to it. Very cool, sort of silvery blue metal casing, and the compass wheel on the interior is the object that spins rather than the actual needle, which is just kind of like it's more just kind of like this metal rib that kind of arcs over the disc.
Okay.
But what he would tell you is that this disc is, particularly reinforced to resist the allure of the various potent forces that suffuse our fair Feywild. It has been told, in no uncertain terms, to look north and only north.
Okay.
It's been told?
Yes.
No, bad compass. North only.
It's like, nope, that's another hot one. You are not the lust compass, you are the north compass. Try again. So.
I've got a horny north compass. How much for the north compass?
That
can
one's
I
going
get
to be.
a deal if I buy both of them together?
That one was going to be 100.
100. That's all my money.
I'll say give me a persuasion check then.
Yes, Burberry?
Do you need assistance?
I love that for this role. It's 23.
23.
I rolled a 2 and a 4.
That's a 23 with a 2 and a 4?
I can't roll below a 10.
He'll knock half off the cheaper compass, so 125 total.
Okay. Well, I am pretty much out of money for our fun fail-out adventure, but that's alright.
So is Aldrin. Welcome to the club.
I don't think we're going to be stopping for shopping in deep or in high water, deep water, whatever it's called.
High water.
Key water. Tomato, potato.
So,
Okay,
flashing
sorry, I
back
didn't
to
mean
the
for that turn into
present.
a whole thing.
You're good. Noelle, consulting your compass, you can see you are heading more or less south, slightly southwest.
Good. Yeah, we having a way to understand direction here actually will probably be very useful given.
I'll go ahead and toss in 50 gold for, since it is something that the party is going to use. It seems unfair for you to pay for.
Oh, I will take that. I very much appreciate it. I think honestly, Noelle probably would. I don't know if everybody saw that post I made earlier today in the Discord, but I think Noelle would pitch that to everybody today. That once we get past the mountain range to the west of us, if we go west and get to the lake, we could just follow it around the opposite side, and then presumably get to high water without hitting any of the war camps, and it would only add about 3 days to the trip. I would hazard a guess.
I mean, it looks like you literally just like copy pasted the line.
I tried to pick a line that seemed like the average size.
I think that's an accurate representation. I have no qualms with your assessment there. So,
Out
what
of
think
curiosity,
you, Poshy?
where are we on the current white line?
You would be, I believe, like halfway through. Shit, I've lost it.
It'd either be 4 or 5, right?
I think you're like halfway through 4. Because you guys started like in the afternoon, the day that you left town. So it's only really like 4 days of travel, or 4 hours of travel before you like bedded down for the night.
We did the 3 days to the wall.
Yeah, but you reached the wall in the afternoon of like the third day.
Okay.
Or I
For some
guess it
reason,
would be
I
the
feel like-
afternoon of the afternoon of the fourth day would be technically.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I feel like we maybe reset or something. Like we just stay at the wall for half a day or something. But I maybe not. I'm just
You
remembering.
guys pushed through it.
Okay.
You guys got there, and we're just like, yeah, we're just gonna keep going today.
Okay. Well,
Um,
still a good thing to consider at the very least.
yes. What say ye, party?
I thought we voted on this last week.
I wouldn't mind getting some fishing in down that way, so I'm not opposed.
I'm game.
It just seems easier than now that we know there's 4 war camps directly on that road. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what threats or challenges the lake offers on that side of things, but I have a hard time imagining that it's worse than trying to skirt 4 war camps in a row.
What's the worst that could happen? One of those big frog things?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Burberry like starts talking, but whenever Barnaby starts, he stops. But then he messages Noelle and says,
Probably shouldn't mention the possibility of water nymphs around Barnaby if you want him to vote for this one.
That's a good point. I feel like at the very least it also has the benefit of avoiding the issue of getting lost too, since we can literally just follow the edge of the lake. And now that we have this handy dandy compass, I think I don't know, I think it's worth a shot. But I think maybe we'll see when we get closer, just to see if it'll be worth it.
Sure.
Yeah. So for now we'll just start the day walk.
Okay. Normal pace, I assume.
Sure.
Okay. So, today.
casting Death Ward on kiddos.
Sure.
Although I'll probably do that like 2 hours after we start, just so that way the bulk of the day is covered.
Okay. Fair enough. Could I get a D100 roll from somebody?
I can do
I'll
it.
let somebody else do it today.
I don't think I've done it yet.
I was super excited to have a reason to finally use my D100.
Of course. 69.
Good.
Nice.
The concept of today, guys, can we just sleep it out? Seems like it's just going to be a bad day.
It's not worth traveling today.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just sleep.
I'm glad you understand. I'll set up the tent.
Are there any nymphs around? I can.
If there was ever a role for that.
Set up this nip or set up the tents if there's a possibility of nips, Barnaby.
So Aldrin.
Uh-oh. Okay. Damn it.
I will say, as you and your party begin to start moving in this morning, what's your passive perception?
15.
15? Okay. Yeah. So you'll see this. I mean, Noah will probably see it too. Probably Burberry. But Aldrin, you will definitely notice within like an hour of you guys moving, off to the right through the trees, there is some rustling in the brush. And given where your head's at, you kind of pause, take a closer look, and you do, in fact, actually spy a discarded boot laying next to one of these bushes.
A boot?
Yeah, like a boot.
Well, how about that?
Aldrin will go look at the boot.
Sure.
Does it look like the boot from the man he killed the night before?
He's escaped somehow.
As you draw closer to it, it does look similar. These are not the same size shoe as the man. These appear to be bigger. But it does look to be sort of the same sort of like material and fashioning and everything. And as you draw closer, you can hear the sound of this rustling brush, just kind of the shifting of leaves and branches against each other, the occasional creak of wood.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any sound besides creaking? It's just like a trees rustling?
Yeah. You're not actually hearing anything beyond rustling leaves. The occasional creak of a tree branch or a bush
Is
branch.
it close?
They're probably like 100 feet out.
You want me to go investigate?
Want me to fly up? I could drag you up.
Would that work, or does this sound like it's in a tree, or it's
This is like
in the brush?
in brush at the base of
Okay,
trees.
flying up
Like,
probably is not gonna give me a good view of this. I like where your head's at, though. I guess no, I'll just go sneak forward and see what she sees.
okay.
I know this worked really well last night.
I'll say, give me a stealth check. And Aldrin, are you going with her as she begins to pass you, or are you staying behind?
Sure.
All right then. Give me a stealth check, Aldrin.
Oh wait, we're stealthing? Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna sneak up and see what I see.
Noel's creeping
It's
forward.
only 100 feet, so I'm like, well, if something goes terribly wrong, at least I'm right next to the party.
Sure, he'll try. That's the worst that can happen.
24.
Okay, 24.
17,
17.
which is not bad for old.
That's pretty good.
That is not bad. No, that's good. So you guys both begin to creep forward, and as you draw closer, you are again struck by the total absence of any sound other than shifting, rustling leaves and creaking branches. You do occasionally hear what almost looks like a grinding sound, followed by a crack. But this shifting, rummaging in the midst of all these brush does not seem to change. I'll say, Noel and Aldrin, give me a perception check.
15.
15. Okay,
20, unnatural.
20. Yeah, Noel, you're struggling to kind of make out more of what's going on here. Just get some sign of what's happening. Aldrin, as you just kind of like skirt a little bit off to the side away from Noel, just to get a better angle, you do catch sight of a hand laying on the ground, protruding out from under the brush. And for a moment, it's like, oh, there we go. But you take another step, and as you kind of round this tree trunk, you can see the hand is not attached to anything.
Damn it!
And there is a messy, bloody streak kind of trailing from it into the midst of these bushes.
There's a messy what protruding? Just bloody
Like
mess?
a bloody streak trailing from the hand back under the bushes.
I feel like he'll just like grab Noel's arm, be like, time to go. Time to leave.
What's going on?
Dead body, let's go.
Wait, but what's making the sound?
Probably something we don't want to interact with, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I'll follow Aldrin's lead. He saw it, I didn't.
Okay. So, following Aldrin back to the party, you guys regroup. The bushes continue their ceaseless rustling.
Can we give this noise a wide berth?
Yeah, I'll say if you guys want to just kind of skirt it, give me a stealth check, everybody.
I will give Barnaby Bardic Inspiration. No, come on. 16 total.
19?
15.
Natural 20 plus 8.
Okay.
Okay.
Barnaby, you're muted, by the way, if you didn't know.
God dang it. That's, well, double god dang it. That's a 10.
You have Bardic
Total?
Inspiration?
Yep.
Damn.
I assumed you were giving it to me since it was a stealth roll.
That's kind of the MO these days.
Okay.
It's less without it.
Thankfully for you guys, most of you succeeded. You skirt these rustling sounds, putting some distance between them and you before continuing forward on your southerly route. And before long, they are a distant memory, totally inaudible behind you.
All right. Well,
Congrats.
thank you. Who needs passes out of trace?
It's fine.
I wouldn't say
I'm sure
no.
Barnaby would like it.
You just need to roll better on my Bardic Inspiration die.
Look, those dice are cursed. The highest I've gotten off it is 4.
Oof.
Get a better D10.
Put your D's in jail.
Teach them a lesson.
Any D10 that rolls below a 5 is worthless.
I mean, honestly, below a 6 is probably worth
Technically, if you
it.
want to get really specific.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
onward.
with that, as you are moving at a normal pace, what is the party's
Marching order?
Passive perception.
No. Yeah, what's the highest passive perception in the party?
I think it's Noel right now.
Okay.
Which is, what, 17?
17. Okay. So with a 17 today. Okay. As you travel today, you again catch sight periodically of those stacked rune-carved stones, the eye stones that you were warned about, that you encountered the day before. And knowing what to look for, I think, helps over the course of the day. You guys are able to kind of identify them and avoid them where you see them to the best of your abilities. Fairly confident that you have not triggered any alarms. You have yet to see any sort of magical reaction from any of these stones whatsoever, despite having seen them yourselves. Just be careful not to get too close, as you had been warned.
Right.
With that, your day will pass fairly quietly, without too much incident, outside of your little encounter this morning.
Can I make note of these stones as we, like, how close to these stones do I need to be to become, like, familiar-ish with them? Would I have to get close for that, or...?
Define familiar-ish. What are you hoping to do here?
I mean, there's scrying stones, so maybe use them to scry later?
They are alarm stones, is what you were told. These
Yeah,
things
they're like waypoints that when they trigger, the mages know to scry on that spot or whatever.
do. Mm-hmm.
Well, basically, I would like to use it for scrying purposes.
Oh, I mean, you've seen... Yeah, that's not hard to do.
Okay. Well, I was making sure because, like, you know, I wasn't sure if it would need to be like, oh no, I've made note of this specific one, or if just a general like, oh yeah, the
I would say for the purpose of scrying a location, as long as you've seen it, I would count that as familiar. So like if you've seen a distant location, like across a landscape, I would say you could scry that location. Like you've seen it, I don't think scrying is going to be difficult. I do have a question. Do you have a way to scry currently? Do you have like a scrying implement on your person?
I mean, I have attempted to scry on stuff before.
Yeah, I remember you guys borrowed stuff from Alexi and I think Gideon.
What item are you specifically asking about?
Scrying requires a material component such as a crystal ball, silver mirror, or font of holy water worth at least 1,000 gold pieces.
I mean, I've bought these stuff for scrying before.
Yeah.
Okay. As long as you've bought it
the
before.
scrying stuff.
Fine.
Okay. As long as you've bought it and you've got it, that's fine.
I kind of remember
Just double checking because that is the one I remember is like I need a big important thing to do it. Okay. But yes, today will pass without any further incidents, and you guys are going to be able to make yourselves a camp in a secluded portion of the forest without too much difficulty. Either a font of holy water, a silver mirror, or a crystal ball.
Okay. Is it okay since I've cast scrying before if I retcon buying one?
I thought you had bought
I
one.
swear you did. I thought you used your fun bucks for it or something.
I haven't used my fun bucks yet. But I don't see any of those things in my inventory, which is why I'm like, well, I mean, I wouldn't have not bought one whenever I tried last time because I have done it, like when I was in town.
I think Lauren's used Alexi's stuff.
Like the scrying mirror?
I used it after. I used
Lauren bought one.
After we were with Lauren, because I used it to try and scry on Father Severus.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
I feel like Burberry's definitely scried on their own before.
Just make a note that it's in your inventory. Yeah.
Okay. Since it's Burberry, I would say it's the holy water, but that's so expensive.
It's a lot of holy water. That's heavy too.
It's such a cumbersome scrying method.
I'll go with the mirror.
Okay, that's fine. So,
how much is a mirror? Because
they're all 1,000. They all have to be 1,000.
Oh, okay. All
So,
right.
anything before you guys do a long rest for the day?
I don't think so.
Okay. Your rest will pass without too much incidents, and your next day of travel, very similar to the first, this session. Fairly quiet, not too much going on. I assume we're moving at a normal pace again.
So we have a reason not to.
Yeah. Okay. And again, you guys are finding these eye stones relatively easily as you travel. They are only in a couple spots ever terribly cleverly hidden. And they tend to be pretty evenly spread out by your estimation at this point. As you kind of been seeing them for the past few days now, you kind of have a sense for this very irregular grid almost that these things seem to be arranged in, and you're able to kind of weave between it fairly well without really any concern. There's maybe like one spot today where you're like about to round a tree and it's like there's one like tucked up into the roots right next to it. It's like, oh, okay, let me back up. Mm-hmm. But no triggers, no alarms, no magical reaction of any kind that you can see from these things. It's fairly uneventful today.
Okay. Just to clarify, so are we halfway down the 6th then at the end of today?
That is correct.
Okay.
So you are getting close to that point where you probably want to decide if you're gonna.
Yeah. Do we see that any signs of that war camp off to the west, or is it just too far away?
I will say. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
24?
24.
Or sorry,
Okay.
23 actually. I just
23. Oh, fail now.
missed it.
So the 23, I think we could probably flavor this as you find like there's like a shallow kind of cliff face that you kind of come up to as you're heading south during the day, and there's like a decent enough drop off that you kind of see over some of the trees up ahead, and you can kind of get a decent idea of like the landscape, sort of directly south and a little bit to the west of you. And with this view, I mean, you're looking miles and miles and miles ahead as the ground continues to kind of just slowly slope downwards towards these lowlands further south. There is the faintest little, not pinpricks, but pinstripes, I guess, of smoke, kind of rising up out of the forest in the distance to the south. Similarly, to the west, you're able to pick up maybe one. No way to really say where it's coming from, just that there is some signs in the air of, humanoid presence activity in the region. For what it's worth, I will say with a 23, you can see up ahead, heading further south, it is a little misty looking. The horizon kind of starts to kind of fade out more drastically than you recall. And the sky overhead has sort of a hazy sort of pallor to it that is kind of spreading from the south northward, kind of obscuring your view of those brilliant sunset colors that are always overhead.
Okay. Yeah, I think we'll consider it partway through tomorrow then, or partway through the travel day tomorrow.
Fair enough. So with that said, then tonight we'll pass without too much incident as well.
Okay.
Fun enough. And on your next day, again, not too difficult to detect these stones, although fairly early in the morning, you guys do find yourselves beginning to be speckled by rain, as that haze from the south has sort of spread far enough northward now that it's overhead. And there are these sort of sheets of mist almost kind of falling over the forest and over you as you travel. It helps that there's a slight breeze that's kind of breaking it up a little bit. It's kind of forcing it to come at an angle, and with all the tree cover from the forest, it's shielding you from the worst of it. But over the course of the day, the rain does grow heavier, and with that in the air, it does make kind of spotting things at a distance a little bit trickier. But true to your past couple days of experience, these things are not terribly difficult to find. Many of them are pretty obviously out in the open, despite their alleged claims to try and hide them.
Mm-hmm.
So, at this point, Noel, then, in the middle of the day, you're probably approaching the point where your party probably should decide, either today and at the very latest tomorrow, what your course of action is going to look like.
Doesn't make sense to wait till tomorrow. Here's my proposal to get a better sense of things.
Mm-hmm.
Kyron, can you do invisibility on anyone?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you be able to do that to Barnaby? And Barnaby, would you be able to fly basically as high as you can go and just get a lay of the land?
Or what? You're gonna put some kind of cloaking device on me or something?
That's the way to look at it.
It's magic.
Oh, he doesn't.
Sure it is.
Magic. It's very weird.
That's stupid. Here.
You're stupid.
He slaps your hand, and you vanish.
And I will give you, for whatever it's worth, a bardic inspiration for this perception.
Okay.
Alright.
So, Barnaby, you are invisible. Your disadvantage and advantage will cancel each other out. You'll have a straight stealth roll and a bardic inspiration. I will say go ahead and roll stealth.
14.
14, okay. And roll perception for me as you into the air.
That's the reason you have disadvantage. It's just the sound of the rocket boots going on.
Yeah, those don't help.
Let's see. Perception is a 21.
21.
What was that for stealth, huh?
Okay. Pretty good. With a 21, you do have the poor fortune of rain today, which is hurting your view of the distant landscape. But the rains aren't consistent enough and heavy enough to, fully obscure your view of sort of your locale. The handful of square miles surrounding your location. I will say that you, looking around, you don't see any sign of any camps nearby. You guys have been traveling for probably about 4 hours at this point, and you are pretty well on your own in the wilderness at this point, as far as you can tell. It does not look to be like there's any structures nearby, any construction, any activity. You're not seeing movement really on the ground down below, which doesn't really surprise you given the weather. And if you squint, like very, very faintly through the mist, like you think you can make out the shore of the lake along the kind of southwestern direction. Again, it's like this very thin, light line of gray amidst this just kind of swirling haze of misty gray all around it. But it's enough that you think to yourself, yeah, that doesn't look like land. That looks like that might be the beginnings of a lake. But it's a good distance out. So.
And I will descend back down and say, it's just us and the beavers out there right now. But the lake's about that way. I'm pointing that direction.
Okay. Honestly, my only question would have really been like, does it look like the forest become evil or whatever in the west for some reason?
How do you really quantify that? Is a dead tree evil?
Well, we walked by an evil forest for like a week straight, so we have pretty good context for what that looks like.
Did anything
was it really
look like
evil,
that?
or was it just malnourished?
Maybe both. Maybe it's evil because it's malnourished.
Maybe if we fed, it wouldn't have been so bad. You never know.
We'll keep that in mind next evil forest we find.
How are we gonna know it's evil?
Because it tastes like squid pops. If I remember, Barnaby hates those, right?
No, they're alright.
Okay, that's the.
I don't love them, but they're alright.
No, it's okay. I got this. Hold on. There's one thing that Barnaby absolutely hated.
Coconut crab.
Coconut crabs.
Thank you. Yeah, it gives off the vibe of coconut crabs.
Alright, I see your point now. But that place didn't give me a vibe of crabs.
Well, as long as you didn't see something that reminded you specifically of that place,
crabs.
I think we're in the clear.
Yeah. For what it's worth, the forest looks pretty consistent in either direction. No real shift in its demeanor or nourishment that you could see, Barnaby.
Well, with that said, it just looks like trees going on.
Okay. And before we make this call, I would like to very much emphasize, I'm just guessing. I really don't know what's at the lake. I don't know how well guarded it is. I don't know how much of a watch they keep on it. I don't know if this is going to be an actually shorter path, or if it's just going to be is going to double the length of our journey, and none of this was worth it anyway.
No, well, it's all right, because if you did not make any suggestion, I'm pretty sure we'd be back at the town. So we won't blame you if something bad happens.
I'll give you a firm pat on the back. It'll be fine. And I'm not just saying that because I want to fish there.
It's probably like 80% because he wants to fish there.
Okay. I just wanted to be clear. If you're all confident, then we can make a go at it. We'll head west.
Alrighty.
Go west.
Half a day.
And you begin your trek into the most heavily fortified portion of the Borderlands. Today will be a quiet, rainy, uneventful day. Again, you're catching the ice stones before any issue.
I'll put on my new hat.
Yep, you got your new hat, keeping the rain off. And, when you guys start getting tired, you throw up a dome, get yourselves into a nice, dry enclosure. Somewhere that has not been too terribly muddied by the weather.
Still casting the death ward on kiddos.
Yep.
I'm just going to do that every day. I will permanently dock myself those 2 spell slots.
Just kids are always going to have death ward while you're traveling.
Yep, that was
Got it.
Safe.
We're still doing
sure.
the little twinsy trick, right?
Yes.
Where everybody's wearing deer masks? Okay.
Yeah, all 4 of them.
That's a good idea.
It was a good idea. So, tonight will pass without issue, and day 4 of the session will start up as you hear a peal of thunder in the distance. There's a distant rumble, faint flash of light, and within a few minutes of that first lightning strike, the rain begins to come down hard. It's gonna be a slog today, unfortunately.
Oh, gosh darn, says the DM. Such a shame.
What a
that-
tragedy. Could somebody please, pretty please, roll me a D100 today?
Dibs.
Go for it.
I don't want to roll the evil number.
Do it. I dare you.
74.
Roll it.
Oh no.
Sweet. Okay,
I don't
so
like Flet's expression. He looks really excited.
it's very thematically appropriate for what I had prepared. So I like that.
Great.
I don't.
As you guys travel today, and then okay. With the heavy rains, visibility is definitely curtailed significantly, but you guys keep an eye out as you travel for any sign of movement, any sign of the particular silhouettes of those eye stones, and give them the wide berth they deserve, because we are not starting shit today. As you hew westward through the trees. With this trajectory, are we wanting to... I guess we're probably going to be getting to the coast eventually, one way or the other. As you travel this direction, you don't necessarily encounter a lot of creatures today, but you definitely begin to see signs of passage out this direction. There are patches of footprints, kind of crisscrossing muddy paths through the forest every so often. Humanoid footprints of varying sizes, as well as more bestial-looking prints, creatures of some kinds. Some hooved seeming, some with sort of clawed 3 or 4 toed feet at times. There's definitely a presence of some kind moving about in this area. With the rain, it's kind of hard to say how fresh they are, just because things are flooding and beginning to kind of like, mellow out in the mud. But when you see them, you can tell like these are much more present this way than they have been the past few days that you've been traveling. And here and there, you find scraps of either toolkits or bits of food, a leaf wrapping from a ration, discarded at the base of a tree. Just small hints here and there of activity. But over the course of the day...
Or small activity?
They are intermittent. It's not like large groups, and it's not frequent, but I'd say maybe like 3 or 4 times over the course of the day, we'll say. You encounter some sign of a smallish party of some kind, moving through.
There are people roaming around here.
People and creatures, kind of traveling in company.
Just to be clear, it's like boot prints, not like literal human footprints.
Yeah, primarily boot prints. There's a handful that are probably like bare feet. Like one time you might find like a couple bare feet interspersed with the tracks.
B-A-R-E or B-E-A-R?
B-A-R-E.
Okay, that's important.
And there are also creature footprints as well. Like I said, hooved and clawed creatures. Either a large bird or a lizard or something. Traveling in their midst.
We should never forget about bare feet B-E, because we did freaking travel with the Lorne for a while. B-E-A-R feet is a real thing.
That's always a concern.
Okay, well, I think we would probably be extra vigilant on watches, which means nothing mechanically, but we will be careful.
Sure. I think when you guys are at a point where it's time to set up camp, it is probably an exercise in trying to find the least terrible spot in the forest to bed down, given that it has been raining and kind of distantly thundering all day. It is wet, it is muddy, it is not a great day to be sleeping outdoors. But eventually, you guys find yourselves a decent, defensible-looking spot. Tuck in, set some watches. Who would be taking watch tonight?
So I would propose something, and I think this is fair given that we've seen activity around here.
Mm-hmm.
If we pair up, we can do 3 watches with advantage, as if we use Chiron and Endymion.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think you might have just been proposing what I was trying to propose when I unmuted myself, but you couldn't hear me. Was that if we're trying to be extra careful, we have 2 people on watch.
Yeah, that's exactly the same thing. The only thing was we'll lose. We can't do it for every watch, but we can do 3 with pairings, which is better than nothing.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of you. Yeah, that's true. Well, I guess technically 8 if you count Burr and Barry separately.
I believe we never allowed that.
Yeah.
Mechanically, that lets me make 2. So
But
I don't mind making a single, like being on a watch by myself and have it be quote unquote paired up. But honestly, if we're gonna have anyone be by themselves, it should probably be someone with a higher perception.
That would be me. I could take the morning watch, and then we could have pairs for the first 3.
Okay. Well, who's taking first watch?
I can, if you want.
Aldrin and... Who do you want to be paired with, Aldrin?
I guess I'll pair with one of the children. Probably Chiron. Come on, Chiron. We're going to have a great chat together.
Chat.
You're supposed to be watching.
Watching and chatting. It'll be fun. Don't you love me? Come on.
Chiron looks so confused. Everyone, tucks in as best they can on the dry patches in the dome, and Chiron sits up across the dome from you, Aldrin, as you guys are keeping watch.
So how do you like venturing?
Past couple days kind of suck.
Fair. How are you doing?
He shrugs. Like, it's been kind of boring since we left the wall. I miss the cool stuff back in town, so I don't know. It's alright.
Well, you'll be able to see all the cool stuff soon. Again. When we reach your father's domain.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the war camps.
Oh, no, that's not cool. That's not fun.
What are you talking about? That'd be dope.
No. No, it wouldn't.
You guys could take them. You guys killed a bunch of giants the other day.
A war camp?
How many could they be?
Hundreds?
Oh.
And there's 6 of us? 5 of us?
6 of us. I'm here.
Well, 7 if we count your brother. But you
He doesn't-
two are not supposed to be fighting.
Ugh.
Oh, don't roll your eyes at me.
In 1,000 years, you're gonna look back at this and think, man, I was being a little shit.
Oh, that's a wonderful thing to say. You know, one day you're going to look back and you're going to be like, wow, I was a terrible child. And I can't wait for that day.
You're a terrible caregiver.
I was never supposed to be a caregiver. Of
Yeah.
course I'm terrible.
It shows.
Oh, dear me. So upset. However will I survive such
My
harsh words from my
God,
future
you're such
lord?
a drama queen, Aldrin. Shut up.
This has got to be so hard to sleep through.
I'm glad I have earplugs.
Weeping.
I don't know. I'm kind of like. I'm hoping I fall asleep if only I don't have to witness the carnage.
I have to get up at 4 in the morning.
I agree with the kid. I think the war camps are cool.
Thank you.
No, John, do not. Please don't. He's rotten enough. We don't need him running away to go to the war camps and get abducted.
I'm not going alone. That'd be suicide.
Then
Come
who would
on.
you go with?
Also, still feel like we could have gotten through all this a lot faster if we got through the war camps.
All of you guys, obviously.
Well, we all decided not to go through the war camps, so here we are.
Okay, yeah, fine.
Are you always going to be this grouchy?
I'm not grouchy.
Oh my god, you're
Bored.
You're grumpy.
Keep me up on a watch. What do you want from me?
I don't know. Insightful conversation? Entertainment? Not a grouchy boy?
He's just like sitting across you with his arms crossed, like, you're supposed to be the one entertaining me.
No, I am supposed to be escorting you to your father, which I am doing. There was no part of my arrangement said entertain the children.
Yeah, but you still take orders from Dad and from me and from Endymion.
I do not take orders from you, I take orders from your father.
You should be taking orders from us.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
That just devolves into this.
That the entire watch.
Can I get a perception check from you, Aldrin, with advantage? Since Endymion or Chiron is supposed to be helping.
Chiron is ostensibly helping.
Well, I mean, you know what? Worst comes to worst,
18.
he is helping to keep
18.
Aldrin awake.
He is keeping Aldrin awake, which is probably enough. And I think, if that's the strategy, Aldrin, it's working. It's keeping you up. I think over the course of this watch, there's probably a couple of moments where you kind of have to like hold up a hand to cut the conversation for a moment to listen in, and it sounds like movement in the distance, but it's also hard to say because it could just be branches creaking under the weight of the rain. But every time you hear it, you don't hear any further noise. There's no follow up. There's no further footsteps or any kind of repetition that kind of alerts you that there's anything there. And by the end of your watch, you're pretty confident. It's like you've really just kind of been hearing the forest just kind of shifting under the weather over the course of your watch, and feeling pretty okay that you guys are in a decent isolated pocket. So, who's taking second watch?
Good night, rotten child.
I'll do it.
Whatever.
Who's your watch buddy, Barnaby?
Bark.
I don't think that's allowed.
Why not? He's a dog.
That's
A
not
person.
my choice to make.
You know what? I'll wake up. I'll be Barnaby's partner.
Is Bark a homunculus or is he a...
He's a homunculus.
Homunculus.
He's a homunculus. I mean, technically he's a creature.
Wait, is Bark secretly our ace?
I mean... I'd allow it. It's like having a familiar.
Thank you, DM, for recognizing Bark. That is a 19 plus 3, 22.
Good shit. So, sitting up, cleaning your gear off, just to keep it functional, not to get the grime off necessarily.
Gotta keep it just right.
Yeah.
Just the right amount of seasoned.
Mm-hmm.
Scritching your wooden dog every now and then. It's a nice night. Rain's calming. Occasional little rumble of thunder in the distance. It's peaceful. Kind of reminds you of the rainy season back home. It's good fishing this time of year.
When it ain't raining anymore, remind me to lacquer you again.
Ooh.
You're gonna swell up.
He just fucking, his head just plops down in the mud.
I swear.
With a 23, quiet. There's a spot, maybe an hour and a half in, where Bark, his head like picks up and he starts kind of looking around, ears kind of cocked a little bit. And he sits like that for like a minute before he just kind of throws his head back down over his paws.
What you say there, buddy?
It's not much of an answer. Seems like he thought he heard something, but couldn't pick it up again. So, third watch.
That's Burberry and or John or Denny.
I'll take I'll take Endymion.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Bark might have heard something out that way. I'm gonna point in the direction.
sure.
Okay.
But then again, it could have moved by this point, so.
Okay, how observant is Endymion?
I mean, he's...
More observant than Chiron.
Yeah, that's fair.
Is he more than a +3?
Probably not.
Okay. We set up our best chances, you know. Okay, 14.
14. Okay.
And then while I'm awake, since I have the spell slot, I will also cast Scrying on the last stone that we passed.
Okay, fair. It's probably like an hour back, we'll say. With scrying, you glance at this stack of stones, the top stone of which is a sort of like pyramidal, oblong, more roughly shaped, with a handful of runes kind of carved into each face. And looking around, you just kind of watch as the rain continues to kind of pelt the trees and the tower around it. I will say at a distance, not necessarily up next to the stone, but through the trees, kind of close to the edge of your awareness through the spell. You can make out the shape of a four-legged creature moving through the trees. It stands about 4 feet tall at the shoulder. Kind of gray, sleek.
Is it walking with intent or is it meandering?
It's trotting. It's kind of it's not going somewhere specifically. It's got its head down, and it is. I guess it is meandering. Yeah, as it's sort of kind of weaving through the trees and the brush. Very much reminds you of like a very large, lanky dog. The way it's moving, but there's no fur. This is like a sleek creature, and what you can see of the tail appears to be finned. Whenever it comes into view, there's these sort of like almost like sails or fins, really kind of like protruding off the tail.
Like a dinosaur?
Not like a dinosaur. The build is very dog-like, but again, like gray and sleek and finned, and the head is down, and it is just kind of meandering through the brush, a little ways off from this eye stone that you're scrying on.
Okay, then I won't worry about it because it's
Okay.
probably just looking for dinner.
Sure.
I'll probably spend my watch writing and maybe playing cards with Endymion if he wants to play cards.
Sure.
And then I'll pick up the last watch.
Okay. And Dim is content to play cards if you want to play cards. I don't think it does not strike you that he has a very strong opinion about the matter. He's pretty groggy for the first little bit while you guys are keeping watch, and then eventually he's just kind of sitting and looking at his cards and occasionally just kind of looking out around, keeping an eye out, same as you.
So you seem to be a lot chiller than your brother. Do you enjoy focusing on the
Thank
more physical combats? Like what do you do for fun?
I read a lot, I guess.
Would you be interested in? So I have this book that I can't read. Do you think perhaps you could translate the table of contents for me?
Which book is this?
This is the one on all the gods, or not gods, but all the archfey.
I like the histories and stuff.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. He takes the book and he looks at it. He's like, "Oh yeah. Yeah, I could do that. Do you want me to write it down?"
If you would like to, you can dictate and I can write, or if you, I would to know about where everything in the book is. Although, if you would like to borrow it and just read it in spare time,
I've read this one.
You have?
Yeah.
This thick thing? Definitely more patient than your brother.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll just chat with him and kind of
Okay.
try, because I've mostly talked to Kyron. I haven't talked to Endymion much.
Sure.
So I'll be using.
Yeah. Endymion will tell you, like, he and Kyron get pretty much the same training and schooling. They're pretty evenly matched when it comes to like fencing and shooting and the like. Kyron is not one for sitting still, though. He prefers to be more active, and he definitely excels more when there's something hands-on to do. And I think you would probably pick up a note of frustration from Endymion that Kyron has like kind of grabbed magic as quickly as he has compared to Endymion, because he's like, we're learning that out of books. That should be my thing. It's not fair. There's that undercurrent of it there. But he's definitely much more attentive to the kind of history and schooling that they're getting.
Would you like to hear a tidbit? So whenever we,
And he kind of gestures to himself and because this is Barry speaking, so he gestures to himself and Burr.
whenever we started taking up with magic, we had a friend, and he was not much of a magic user, but every time we played chess or any kind of strategy game, he schooled me to the ground. He was very, very good. So sometimes having all of the magical whoozy howsy is like, I mean, it's cool, don't get me wrong, and it can be extremely overpowering, but no amount of magics will outweigh tactics whenever it comes to being a leader like you are being trained to do.
I mean,
It's a nice tool to have in your chest, but it shouldn't be the only tool you have in your chest.
yeah, I'm not really being trained to lead. I'm trained to kind of back up if something happens to him. So
Then maybe using the skills that you're better at, because and Endymion is many things.
Like he like looks over like he's not right.
oh, at Kyron.
Yeah. Or sorry, Kyron. He looks over at Kyron and he's not awake, right?
He's asleep.
His impulsiveness is going to get him killed if he's not careful, so it's good to have someone like you who's patient, who he actually vaguely listens to in some regard to rein him in a bit. Otherwise, he's gonna do something really dumb. Why do you think he's going to do something dumb? By the way, I've tried to figure out how to play this game. You mean the game we don't have any rules for? Yes, that game! It's completely nonsensical. That's because there's no rules, Burr. Well, I want to make up some rules. Do you want to make... Endymion, do you want to help me make up some...
Yeah, I could write those down for you if you wanted.
Wait, you know
Is
what?
that-
Yes.
Is that the game that you got at the pawn shop?
Yes, she said that nobody knew how to play it. I mean, if you know how to play it, you could teach us how to play it.
I mean, it looks like a chessboard as he's like looking at it.
It's like Barry gets super excited and Burr goes, ah.
Would you like to play chess? I've actually been teaching another young girl who's around your age how to play it.
Do you have the pieces?
Yes, I do.
Like starts pulling out all.
That's why you brought it.
Yeah.
Okay. He's like, yeah, no, this looks like one of the pieces that one of Dad's old friends had back at the court. I think it's just old. Can I ask you something?
Go for it.
You two were the same person once, right?
Yes.
I'm understand. Okay, and you got split.
And very unfortunate circumstances with a very irritated deity.
I mean, yeah, that sounds like something that's happened here before. There's a story actually in that book about one of the old Summer Kings splitting a baby in half. It was a whole thing. They like grew up to be like rivals, and it's a thing. But I don't know. It. Sorry about that happening. That sounds like it probably wasn't terribly pleasant.
Not really. However, it did make life very interesting. Very.
Do you guys fight a lot?
Not over what's important. There's a fine line between finding a balance of, because there are people who are different than you, who are fundamentally agreeing with you, and then people who are similar to you who have fundamentally different beliefs. So we do argue about things like what we should have for dinner. I still think it should be dessert. Dessert's not a dinner. But on the things that we think are important, we come to the same agreement. One does not have to be the same to be close.
I think you get the sense he is really like scrutinizing Burr like very intensely as Barry's explaining all this.
Burr's just like dead eye staring him back, like, "What you got?"
What up?
He's definitely interested in this situation. But after you kind of explain yourself, he doesn't really have much more to follow up on. He's like, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
I will have to say it does make every other day leg day. And our day. Imagine carrying your brother around for 12 hours a day.
Yeah, we used to do that, but we got big. He's heavy.
So is he. Hey!
So with that, I think Endymion will do his best to describe the rules to this game. It sounds like chess. There's some different patterns to the movement of the pieces, and he does mention that there are some weird edge rules for particular like piece swaps and kind of joint maneuvers that can happen depending on the board position. That he's only able to recount a couple of them to you, but from what he tells you, like, you know, this old version of the game was his dad's friend's favorite because of those sorts of accommodations, those sorts of special techniques. It's not really a thing in contemporary Fey chess. They've simplified it over the years.
And I'll end with Burberry as he's like, you know, packing everything up and like preparing to switch over the shifts. He'll say,
do let me know if you would like to play again. You're a lot better at it than me at this point, and it's a good thing to learn how to do it properly.
I'm remembering moves as we play too, so I know that's not really fair. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's that's kind of part of playing chess, is using your advantages, right?
I mean, yeah, but if you don't know what you're doing, it's not really a fair game.
Life is not a fair game either.
Yeah, I guess not.
Well.
Well, we're waking up. So,
yeah.
Who's next?
I think that's John and Noel that's left.
Yep, we actually get to pair up for a watch.
Alrighty. So, the shift changes. John and Noel take their spots, and can I get a perception check?
Do you want to roll, John, or sorry, you want me to have advantage, or do you want to roll one yourself?
What's your perception?
+7.
Yeah, you go. Mine's only +6.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for the advantage. That's a 25.
Good shit. With a 25, Noel, John, you both clock in on something moving in the forest about half an hour into your watch. It is ambling up through the trees in roughly the direction you guys came from. But it is a little ways down the slope, kind of like to your south. And it's not really on like an intercept trajectory. It's just sort of kind of moving in parallel to your route from the day before, almost. At this point, the rain has started to let up ever so slightly. The heavy kind of pounding on the dome is starting to kind of recede, and then now it's just kind of this steady pouring, right? And you've got this constant just kind of flow of water down around the dome, further downhill, kind of pooling in places further down the slope. And you can see this creature kind of splashing through puddles here and there as it ambles forward, head to the ground, finned tail kind of up in the air, kind of swaying ever so slightly as it trots.
How big?
This thing is about 4 feet tall at the shoulders. Pretty tall, pretty muscular looking as it draws close enough to see. You're not seeing any fur, just kind of sleek, shiny gray skin. maybe scales as it draws closer. It's hard to tell with the current lighting. Everything's kind of shiny with a coating of water on it. And
would either of us recognize it?
I mean, I'll just go ahead and give me a nature or arcana check.
Gonna be my next question. Nature or arcana?
Yeah.
They're both terrible.
Yeah, same here.
9.
I got a 9 too.
Alright. We're on the same page tonight, John.
Yeah, nah, this is not a familiar sight to you. It's a very like Piscean wolf shape to the body. It's a weird looking animal, and you still haven't gotten a good look at the face.
So you say it's not on an intercept route?
It's moving like south of your previous route, kind of in parallel to it.
Is it?
Does it look like following a scent,
That
or
sounds good.
like it's following a trail?
It definitely has that vibe to it. And like the way it's moving, it's got like I said, the head down, kind of pressed to the ground. Hard to really make out details because it's covered by brush. But the tail's up, the body's kind of shifting. You can see the musculature of this thing. Like it's a very like beefy looking creature for its size. It's like a 4 foot tall like pit bull almost. But eventually you see as it kind of draws level with the dome, and you guys kind of have a straight shot down the slope towards it. You can see this thing. It picks its head up and sniffs the air. And what you see at the end of this very kind of robust neck is this really uncomfortable blending of a dog, a shark, and some uncannily humanoid features in the face of this creature. The brow is sort of like turned forward on either side where like the shark eyes would be, and the eyes are kind of set in these sockets. The head kind of comes to this pointed tip, at the end of which there is a kind of like slitted, darkened patch that looks like a dog's nose. This kind of gaping shark-like mouth on the bottom of the face, and fins that sort of droop from the sides of the head in a way that somewhat vaguely resemble ears. It's not pretty.
This is the weirdest fucking thing I've ever heard of.
Yeah, I'm
The
kind of
image in
like,
my brain is not pretty. You're right.
Yeah. There's kind of like a domed kind of skull behind, the face there that has like almost kind of a humanish kind of vibe to it.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, fuck it. It's just a very uncanny valley creature, and it's sniffing the air, kind of just like turning its head, looking around.
And it's like normal dog size. You said, it's a little bit. It's like a.
It's a
4-foot
big,
dog.
big beefy dog, 4 foot at the shoulders.
pit bull.
Yeah.
There's a big pit bull. We're talking like probably like a probably like Rottweiler size, like a big Rottweiler.
Thanks. Okay. I can't leave the dome if I don't want it to drop.
I don't think anybody should leave the dome right now. let's just hope and pray this thing doesn't come anywhere close to us.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye.
You guys are going to watch as this thing kind of takes a seat, continues to kind of sniff the air, and then catching on something to the south of you. You see it kind of like perk up, starts to kind of rear up onto its hind legs, and then kicks off the ground. And you watch as the body, wriggling like a very large fish, begins to swim into the air and start
Noelle's
circling
not
a
convinced
tree.
she's awake at this point.
Noelle, can you pinch me to make sure I'm awake?
I was just thinking the same thing.
You're going to watch this thing do like a circle around a tree, just kind of burying its snout in the branches, sussing something out before it
Okay, here's a
finally
question.
gives up
Here's a question.
and sets down back on the ground. Yep.
This is dumb. Does it have a collar? Like it's some fucking war camp sending out to go hunt?
I would say...
Give us a puppy, Plet. I want a puppy.
I would say... Yeah, with your perception checks, you could definitely see there's a collar around its neck.
Okay.
This just kind of black strip of leather barbed with little spikes.
Cute. But it doesn't seem to be acknowledging us in any way.
It does not seem to have picked up your scent.
Okay.
Should we get Barnaby to blast it?
I think if it notices us, we definitely should take action. But so far, it really just seems like it's just wriggling around.
Maybe
it does like a circle around the tree. Like I said, it's kind of like swimming through the air before it kind of sets back down on the ground and continues to kind of nose to the ground, continue searching. You see it kind of push a little bit further forward from its previous path and then turn back. It's not finding what it was looking for. It starts to kind of like do circles in that area, trying to pick up whatever scent it could. It seems puzzled, but it's lingering for the time being.
How long does this thing last?
The dome lasts for 8 hours.
Yeah, we still got a couple hours on it. Or, I guess an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
I feel like if it's not acknowledging us, we don't have reason to break our protection.
Sure. Okay. But I think if it hasn't left by the time we still have a half hour left, I feel like we should make sure everybody's up and make a decision.
Yeah, I think if it's lingering, we'll make a different call probably. But
okay.
Yeah, if it lingers too long, or if it seems to like really notice us, then we'll probably make a move.
Okay. I think you are going to watch this thing for probably 15-ish minutes, 20 minutes, as it is continuously investigating this patch, I suppose, kind of to the south of your dome. I will say, over the course of that 15-20 minutes, you would probably notice, since you guys did roll very good perception, it does seem to slowly be drifting kind of further and further away as it's doing these continuous kind of circles and loops between the trees and the brush, trying to pick up a trail of some kind. But it seems like it's almost hit like a dead end, and it definitely seems confused by this, because it keeps picking its head up, like cocking its head, kind of looking around. You'll see it again kind of like fly up towards a tree and start kind of like, circling, sniffing before it comes back to the ground. But eventually, after about 20 minutes of this, you hear this thing just give this very frustrated and turns away back the way it came and just begins. It starts out trotting before it breaks into a run, and then you watch it kick off the ground and just start fucking swimming through the air, just like 5 feet over the ground, back through the forest the way it came.
Which way did it come from?
It would have come from the east, the same direction you did.
So assuming that thing was after us, where do you think they sent it from?
Well, if we accidentally tripped one of the eyes, that would presumably mean they sent it from like the tower, but I guess that doesn't make sense. The only thing that makes sense is the war camp out south of that mountain range. But
so you think it was looking for us in particular, or just an intruder?
Well, I don't know why it would have lost our scent. We're right here.
Could it be the dome?
I'd assume it's the dome.
But like the trail doesn't Like, you'd still be able to have gotten up to the dome, right? It's
Wasn't
not
it
like
raining?
Did anyone like
It is
take a
still
piss
raining.
by that tree?
It has been
Or
raining
something.
all night and all day.
So it's the rain.
Quite possibly.
You
Uh,
But I mean,
probably
would-
note that you are sort of up on a slope. You know, the water from the rain is definitely draining downhill to the south of you at this current location. It's not a bad theory.
Okay.
I'd say if he's not gone, it might be good to see if we do the hut again and see if it goes away eventually.
He left after about 20 minutes.
Oh, he did?
Yeah,
he's gone.
he took off and started fucking wriggle, swimming, flying through the air.
So it means we got about an hour before the hut disappears.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd say we stay in the hut until the very last second before leaving.
Oh, I was gonna do
Just
that
in
anyway.
case.
Yeah, I mean, anything to keep us out of the rain for an extra hour.
Okay.
That's true.
Assuming that nothing, well, in this moment when we have a second to chat, Noel would ask John, John, quick question for you.
What's up?
It feels like we are kind of approaching the climax of all of this. I imagine when we get back to Freeport, we'll probably address Burberry's issue to whatever extent they wish to, and after that, I feel like we're probably going to be needing to go for Lakeshore just based on the timetable. I was curious though, what do you see yourself doing after we're done with Lakeshore? Assuming we win, of course.
Honestly, I've just been kind of along for the ride. My whole point in starting this was just kind of to help increase the living environment at the orphanage, really. Now that I've done that, I'm just kind of hanging out with you guys. I don't really have anything I'm trying to do, honestly.
I mean, I guess the question then becomes, you know, if you could do anything, what would you do, right? What would you want to spend a day doing for the next 10, 20, 30 years?
I don't know. I enjoyed exploring new areas. That's one of the reasons I've hung around. Is we keep going and exploring new areas I've never been to. So as long as we keep exploring, and other than that, I don't know. I might want to. I've considered seeing if Sarah might want to settle down.
I
Although whether she's willing to settle down or not, I
think you
don't
might
know.
have to wait a few years for her to be into that idea.
Yeah, I figure.
Honestly, I mean, you know, first off, it's been very nice to have you with us. You are more capable than any warrior I've ever met, which is crazy to think how humble your beginnings were. But I would also add, as much as I love this, being with you guys and spending time together, when we're done with Lakeshore, I don't think I could keep up this life. I don't think I'm gonna keep exploring, at least not like this. It's just, I feel like we've been stressed for a year straight, and I don't know if that life is for me. That's all.
I mean, I definitely don't want to do it in the stress level that we've been at since the whole Oshrog thing happened. But I mean, I really don't mind traveling around with you guys, exploring things. So if we wanted to keep that up after the Shirag was dealt with, I wouldn't mind that. But if you guys wanted to set it all down, I think I would probably still maybe travel around a bit, just explore on my own. But I don't know that I go on grand adventures.
Well, we'll see how I feel when the chips land, but I know that what we're doing right now feels a little unsustainable for me personally. And I don't want to lose contact with any of you. I want to stay in touch with all of you guys, of course. I don't foresee myself doing this kind of thing forever. So,
What do you plan to do?
well, I mean, you've seen me on the battlefield. I'm not much of a fighter, but I can talk my way out of basically anything. And as silly as it may sound, I feel like given the trust and the alliances we've made with powerful entities in Freeport and along the coast, honestly, I feel like my skills would be better served trying to get aid for, say, the Gatewatch or the CAA entering the realm of politics, and using my ability to persuade people to perhaps persuade people that these underfunded and immensely helpful people and services and allies could be better suited with having more resources at their disposal. I just feel like everywhere we've gone, nobody has what they need, and everybody's being held back by the circumstances surrounding their existence. And they need someone to fight for them who can actually make arguments and persuade people who have the money to give out. So, I don't know. Something in that realm, maybe.
Seems like a worthwhile goal. I feel like a couple years into that, you're going to miss the simplicity of being able to punch somebody in the face, though.
I don't know if I've ever punched someone in the face. But you're probably right.
That's true. I guess that's mostly my realm. You are pretty good at slinging the spells, though.
Well, I've learned what's useful and what's not, and every once in a while I guess I get a cool thing to do. But you and Barnaby are definitely the powerhouses. I'm just glad to be able to support you guys and help you out.
We only get to do what we do because we have support.
We all make a pretty good team, I think.
I would definitely agree to that.
I think Noah will offer you a fist bump.
I'm just imagining this fist bump and the massive size difference.
Oh yeah.
Like a knuckle versus.
Okay, that's all.
All right. Nice. Well, David said he was taking care of pups, and it is halfway through the session, so this could be a good spot to take a break.
Oh, okay.
So I think we'll pick up in the morning of day 34.
Okay, so turn break. Stream's back.
That cat looks ecstatic to be here.
No. Not at all.
Help me.
Unhand me, wretch.
She's gotten used to me picking her up and putting her on my lap. She'll stay there for about 2 minutes and then she'll go, yeah, enough of this, while I jump out.
That's Tenzin. Tenzin does it.
Well, and she doesn't go far. Like, now she's just here.
Yeah. It has to be their decision. Otherwise, they're like, no, I did not ask for this. I am not doing this. Get off of me.
My favorite is when I floop her, upside down in my arms, and then she'll look at me.
The hand.
And usually the claws are slightly up, but not enough to actually scratch. Like, I am making you aware that these are here.
It's a grip. It's like, you fool. You've left yourself vulnerable.
In the face.
Alright. So,
Let's resume our adventure.
resuming the adventure. We are currently about... How far? You guys are at the midway through the 8 there, I think?
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, we went west at the mountains, but...
Yeah. So at this point, today is going to pass, again, relatively quietly. The rain is going to let up early in the day. And as far as the eye stones go, again, you guys are keeping a vigilant eye out and more or less catching them wherever they kind of show up in the distance. You are not seeing any sign of pursuit from that creature that appeared near your camp this morning. And I'd say around midday, you guys would be able to see up ahead through the trees the shimmer of water in sunlight. And drawing close enough to get a decent vantage without stepping out of the tree line, you could see the lake from the map kind of sprawling out from east to west across the southern horizon. It's a big lake, and you cannot see the other side from here. But you've definitely reached it. And so far, none the worse for wear.
Well, so long as we stick by the lake, it should round us right to high water. Or close to it.
Okay.
I mean, continue, we'd follow it west around the edge.
Gotcha. Could I get perception checks from the party?
22.
22.
9.
No.
Okay.
Yep, basically.
Okay. So
17.
17. Okay. I will say then that after a couple of hours of hiking along the lake, and I should clarify, are we on the shore or are we staying up in the trees as we walk?
Probably stay in the trees. We want to keep the shore visible as best we can, but don't just walk out in the open, I imagine.
Okay. So I will say then, this you'll probably see this later in the day as you guys are getting close to wanting to bed down. With a 22 Noel, I think that you would notice, kind of in the direction of your current trajectory, rising up miles and miles away, visible over the treetops. If you look up, you just kind of happen to glance up at one point, and you do see a few kind of ribbons of smoke, like a cluster of them, just kind of wafting into the air from up ahead.
Okay. Up ahead being to the west of us?
Yeah, along the shore.
Gotcha. Well, I point that out to the party. any idea how far out? You said this was toward the end of the day?
This would be towards the end of the day, and just judging from the size, I mean, it's several miles at the minimum.
Okay.
Close enough that it's probably within a day's travel, but it is a ways off.
Okay. Then we'll probably just, be extra cautious, but just continue on our journey until we get tired.
Okay. I will say then that night will probably pass uneventfully. And come morning, the rains will have picked up again, although it is just kind of a light smattering with this kind of dim mist overhead.
I think Noelle would take a little time in the morning, not enough to delay us, but just while she's eating breakfast, to walk back from where we came, say like a couple 100 feet or maybe 300 or 400 feet, and see if there's any signs of like shark paw prints.
Sure, give me a perception check.
Just to see if that thing is like still us or something.
Land shark!
Oh, 25.
25. You scour the ground behind your party as you guys are eating breakfast at breaking camp, and you do not see any sign of tracks trailing you. Does not look like that thing turned around and resumed its pursuit.
Okay. Good news. Alright, well, we'll have to be super vigilant today. This might be a slow day of travel if we're going to be approaching a war camp.
Okay. I'll
If it
say
feels
then,
like we'll get there within a day.
if we're moving stealthily, we'll probably slow our pace a bit then. And I'm going to need a D100 roll from somebody.
I can do it.
Already had dibs earlier, so
No.
I'll do it.
Yeah, go for it, John.
Let's see here. D100. $18.
18. Okay. So, with that, we are moving slowly today. We have the ability to really stealth it up, and you guys are able to really take your time, keeping an eye out for any signs of movement around you or these surveillance stones that have been kind of peppering the region. Could I get perception checks from the party to keep an eye out today for these stones?
Not
16.
Okay.
That's a 13 for Noah.
Okay. 16.
I got a 19.
19. Good.
Okay.
So I'll say, Noelle, you're probably a little more preoccupied with the possibility of drawing close to a war camp later today. You're maybe a little distracted, kind of watching that smoke, trying to keep yourself kind of triangulated to its position.
Yeah.
But Barnaby and Aldrin are kind of making up the difference here, and you guys are collectively able to steer the party away from any eye stones that you guys encounter. You would definitely notice there's a decent number of them, it looks like, kind of scattered along the shore of the lake here. There's stacks kind of protruding up out of the water in a couple places. There's one that's relatively large that you see kind of set up amidst a number of kind of large boulders that are just kind of like resting in the water on the shore at one point. And there's the usual array of them kind of scattered throughout the forest as you guys are moving, and you weave and avoid as you have been these past several days now. With all of that, I think close to the mid-afternoon. You guys probably have a few more hours of travel left at this point. You guys are drawing pretty even with this cluster of smokestacks. These columns of smoke that have been rising up in the distance. They haven't really abated. You haven't seen them go out or like sputter or anything. They seem like they're pretty constant. And at this point, I will say you guys are probably pulled further up the slope, kind of away from the lake, just to give this, whatever it is, a wide berth. But you can tell that whatever this encampment settlement place is, it does seem to have been set up directly on the shore of the lake. Drawing even with this place, is there anything you guys want to do as far as precautions, reconnaissance, whatever?
I don't think I want to get close to it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think staying away would probably be better. Maybe if we just gave a bit of a long walk around?
Yeah, we're kind of doing that, it sounds like.
Okay.
I don't think there's any reason to get close. Just make sure we're not being tailed and make sure they're not seeing us is the important part.
Okay. Sounds good. So as you guys then continue giving this possible encampment its wide berth, avoiding it, with those perception checks, Barnaby and Ultron, I think up ahead in your path, you would be able to make out a somewhat familiar sound, this clanging metallic footsteps that squelch in the mud and ring against stone as several somethings are making their way through the forests nearby. You hear them. You don't see them yet. And from the sound of it, they are not in any kind of rush. They are just kind of moving. It sounds like at the same sort of pace you guys are, just kind of slowly meandering.
Does Aldrin have any idea what this is?
I think this would probably remind you of the sound of the Redcaps' footsteps when you briefly encountered and slew them north of Deepholm.
More Redcaps ahead.
You want me to take a shot?
That could reveal our position.
It's gonna reveal our position.
Yeah, so let's not do that.
Let's get you a quieter weapon, Barnaby.
Bertha is a loud and proud woman. She does not need to be silenced.
We are next to a war camp. I think it would be wise to not draw attention.
I would absolutely hate to make her voice less effective.
I'm gonna cast silence.
And there's now a bubble of silence surrounding the party.
What?
You hear nothing.
Well,
Put my finger in my ear and twist. I can't hear anything.
Noel's tremendously useless without being able to hear or talk, so I'm going to dart out of the sound bowl and just duck into some nearby brush with a stealth check.
Okay, yeah.
If it helps, I'm gonna put the edge of the sound bubble where Barnaby
Closer.
is.
Okay.
No, like Barnaby's at the very edge of it, so like you can move forward and be fine, or if you like, I can shift it so that Barnaby is like at the opposite edge. So if you move backwards, you'll be fine.
I was going to dart to the side, so it kind of doesn't matter. Wherever you feel most comfortable putting it is fine. I'm just getting off the path. Really, is what my goal is here.
I'll put the silence in front of him. So
if anybody runs at, it'll fall silent.
Yeah, that's fair. Because then if they like yell back, it'll be silent.
What?
So, stealth check, Noel.
Better. 23.
23. With a 23, I mean, it deft, silent. You very quickly hunker down into some nearby brush, trying to get yourself a decent eye line and feeling fairly comfortable that you are well covered by your hiding spot.
Okay.
I will say from this new vantage point, Noel, you can kind of see up ahead through the trees. There is a cluster of small dwarvish height to gnomish height figures, humanoid in their structure, dressed in fairly plain clothes, but all wearing these distinctive kind of metal cobbled shoes. And curiously, while you do make out what appear to be kind of these clusters of whiskers on their upper lips and their chins that kind of kind of trail out akin to the red caps you saw, they are much more fleshy whiskers. These are not hairs so much as they are almost like tendrils or antennae. And the skin of these creatures has a somewhat bluish gray metallic sheen to them. And then you catch a sight of one of their eyes. It's this wide, round, glassy thing. For redcaps, these things have a very, very fishy sort of appearance. They retain their humanoid shape. They move without too much difficulty, it would seem, and they look as though they are foraging. They're sort of pushing through the trees and the brush, just kind of inspecting bushes, bending over and grabbing mushrooms, stuffing them into bags, just kind of out.
Are they talking?
There's not a lot of conversation, really. There's a couple exclamations here and there. You'll hear one kind of exclaims, like, start, gathering something at the base of a tree. You'll hear one of them kind of mutter something off to the side and start peeling like moss off of the trunk of another tree. And it's not really an ongoing conversation. There's just kind of this periodic updating the group, it sounds like, as to what they're doing, where they're going. They don't really ever scatter too far away from one another. They tend to stay fairly clustered, and there looks to be like a conversation happen, a short one as far as like which way to go. They're kind of like pointing in different directions up the slope. Not really terribly stressed, not really pressed. They're just, again, it just looks like a group.
Off to the side, do I see that they are kind of on a collision course with the group?
They are crossing your path. They're not necessarily heading for you, but they are ahead of you.
There will be some level of interaction, sounds like.
You could attempt to cross ahead of them before they cross you, or you could wait for them to pass and try and cross behind them. So
they're crossing, so it's like a T?
Yeah.
Are they heading towards the camp or away from the camp?
Away.
Okay.
They're heading inland.
Yeah.
From the lake.
I guess I would message. Can I message people in a silence bubble?
Technically.
I mean, I can step outside of it.
You're not in the silence bubble.
I'm not.
Well, yeah, but it's a whisper thing.
I thought we determined it's in your head.
Let's see.
That was like this is a very old discussion.
Target
sending is in there.
And only the target hears the message and can reply in a whisper that only you can hear.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean, if it's a scouting, if it's just gonna be like a full-on scouting thing, and if we're gonna try and avoid combat, I will step outside of the silent bubble so that if I can hear whispers, it need me.
Sure.
I don't need to be in the silence bubble for it to work.
When I start hearing Berber's footstep, I guess I'll message them.
Okay.
And just say, seems like a group of red cat-esque creatures. I don't know if we're actually going to cross paths, but they are heading this way. If they do spot us, I do think we're going to have to engage.
Should I drop silence and try to hide, or should we just engage?
We could try to hide. We're not great at it, but we could try.
Okay, well, you know what? Since it's hiding is attempt, and if we do engage, it doesn't matter if birthday gets loud.
Well, it sort of does still, but...
Are there any trees where I put the silence bubble, or is it open?
Yeah, there's trees.
All right. I'm gonna just like grab Barnaby's sleeve and like pull him out of silence and say, "We're gonna try and hide in the silence, so that way your armor doesn't rattle."
Okay.
It doesn't make sense, but I'll trust you. How do you hide in something quiet?
Well, then you can't hear footsteps, right? Just think about
I just thought my ears broke for a second, honestly.
Just push him back in this.
That is dead silent again.
Before you push him in, here's some Mark inspiration.
Oh, nice, Chuck.
All right. I'll say give me another stealth check
I
then.
don't know if we're gonna succeed at this, but we'll give it a
All
shot.
right.
Do I need to roll again, or am I right
No,
now?
you are hidden. You got your 20, 23,
Yeah.
24.
Can Barnaby do it without the disadvantage because he's in silence?
It is a straight roll, yeah. I would say anyone who's in the silence bubble will have advantage on this.
19. But I'm gonna not be in silence.
Okay.
Because I already have.
Or you said check?
Anyone who's in the silence bubble will have advantage on their stealth check.
Oh, stealth. Okay.
Oh my sweet goodness. I actually got a 9 on Bardic Inspiration.
Yes.
Hey, good shit.
That makes it a total of 25.
It was bound to happen eventually. Look
There
how
it
you are.
is.
John got a 21.
Statistics.
Aldrin got a nat 1.
Are you in the silence?
Yeah.
The
Oh, yeah,
dice
do I get
giveth and the
advantage?
dice
You
taketh.
do.
Oh, thank
Yep.
God.
The advantages.
11.
Better than that one.
That is better.
It's 2 ones.
All right. Well, okay. So Aldrin, my guy.
Yep. Oh no.
It's a group check. It's a group check.
That doesn't matter.
It does. It's a thing.
Wait, is this an active perception check from the red caps adjacent?
Yes.
Don't forget that Aldrin has the elven whatever majiggy, so they have disadvantage for perceptions against him.
Oh, that's right. Good point.
Thank you, Kat.
You're welcome.
I don't know what elven thing you're talking about, but that's awesome.
It's the
Cloak of Elvenkind.
Oh, I have that too.
Advantage to
Alright.
hide and disadvantage on see.
No, I have boots of Elvenkind. That's what I've got.
Never mind, Aldrin.
Yay!
I was rolling 20, 19, 17, 20, 8. And now I'm getting 6, 9, 5, to a... I'm like, God damn it. That was going to be funny. All right. Well, so much for my red cap encounter. You guys will hunker down. Most of you encapsulated in this silence bubble and just kind of watch as this group of 6 very fishy-looking red caps continue meandering through the forest on their way, picking mushrooms and berries and scraping moss off of trees. And before long, they are well clear of your position. And you cannot hear their heavy metal footsteps behind you any further.
Okay, let's go.
What?
Noel starts making hand signals.
I don't read hand.
Good thing you're in a silence bubble.
So it's just.
So, you guys start moving and scurry forward, kind of getting clear of their path and just carrying onwards, leaving this encounter behind you. Can I get another D100 roll today, please?
I'll do it. 23.
23. As
26. We need a 26.
as you guys begin winding down for the day this evening, looking for somewhere to camp. There, come back. Noel,
Yep.
you will notice something glittering in a ray of sunshine off to the side of your current path. There's a small clearing amongst the trees, and in that clearing, you can see what looks to be a very, very bright, clear, shining pool of water.
I've never been more suspicious of anything in my life. I will stop the party, assuming we're not actively in any danger here.
Mm-hmm.
It's just clear water. That's all I'm saying. There's no.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing it. It is very picturesque. There's a beam of sunlight shining down through the trees and like illuminating this little clearing, where there's this like very pristine pool of just sparkling blue water.
This feels.
Like a trap.
It's
I'm
like,
so
like
jaded.
cute little mushrooms growing up around it.
I want this to not be a trap. I want to believe there's good things on the encounter table. But
False.
the statistics have proven that wrong. I'm certainly curious. Do I see anyone? Do I hear anyone?
So
Okay.
anguished.
If I get a little bit closer,
Give me a perception check.
not gonna get within, attack range, but I will just kind of sneak up a little bit. Perception, that's a 17.
17. And you're not hearing anybody around you. You guys, like, this is hours after you guys passed the red caps. It's quiet, and you haven't seen another creature for, that time. Just kind of craning your neck, kind of taking a couple tentative steps away from the party just to take a look, trying to get a better angle. This clear blue water kind of flashes in the sunlight, and you kind of blink just at the sudden reflection. As your eyes adjust, you realize that the sunlight is reflecting off of something metallic at the bottom of the pool. Does not appear to be very deep.
I think it was at 120 feet of the pool.
Mm-hmm.
How close am I like right now? Or would I have already been in that?
I'd say you're probably about at that distance.
Okay.
About 120.
I'm gonna cast message toward the metallic shape.
Okay. Go for it.
Hey, are you evil? You have to tell me if you're evil. This feels like a trap.
You did not get a response.
That was worth a shot.
Hey, I respect it, but there's no response.
Okay, I'm gonna remember. Noelle remembers last time we saw a shiny thing in water, it was a mimic. And we were joking about how it was a mimic beforehand, and it was a mimic. I see okay, 120 feet. Oh, sorry, let me check it. I'm gonna waste some magic. I haven't been casting anything recently anyway. Are we pretty far from the war camp that we saw?
Yeah, it's probably like 2 or 3 hours behind you at this point. And you never saw the actual site, the origin of those smoke. You just kind of gave it a wide berth and avoided it.
Okay, how big does shiny thing look?
So the pool itself is maybe like 40 feet across. Like it's not terribly large, and at this angle you can kind of see the bottom at the far end. And this shiny object, you'd guess, is maybe like 2 or 3 feet across.
I'm going to tell the party to back away from the pool to a point where they're not really in a visible range of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to back away with them. I'm going to cast Big B's hand.
Okay.
And I'm going to stealth up.
With Big B's hand.
The hand will not be stealthing. The hand will be my... it's going to be obvious, but if it is obvious, then whatever's in there would attack the hand first, ostensibly.
Okay,
so.
okay, all right. I'll say give me a stealth check then.
It's a 18.
18, okay. So you creep forward.
19, actually, sorry.
19. You creep forward with the hand as cover.
Well, sort of. I creep forward. I'm getting in the brush, we'll say, nearby.
Okay.
And
So
I'll
you,
kind of be
you creep forward with the
this-
hand as your distraction.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then I've got a minute
approach
on
the
this.
pool.
I'm just going to send the hand in to grab this shiny thing and try to pull it out.
Okay, sure. So you watch as the hands arcs and dives into the pool. You feel the fingers close around something fairly sizable and haul it out. Where do you pull the hand? Where do you put it?
We'll say on the shore a little bit, or maybe like...
It's like next to the pool?
Yeah, just next to the pool.
Okay. So as the hand begins to set down on the shore and open up to set this object down, you will note that this very distinctive beam of sunshine starts to fade a little bit. Kind of like a cloud just kind of like rolls over the opening in the sky overhead. And as the hand lifts up, you can see that it has retrieved a fairly large black cauldron. And as it lets go of this cauldron, you watch as a handful of golden coins spill over the rim as it jostles and settles onto the ground.
Okay, now Bigby's hand is going to attack. It's going to make a big fist and go poof, right on the cauldron.
Okay, go ahead and roll the hit.
Worst case scenario, it breaks the cauldron and we just have a big pile of gold coins. Best case scenario, it reveals that it's a mimic. Sorry, I'm looking up the attack. Strength of... Okay, so it's a +8 to hit. Strikes a creature or object within 5 feet. Make a melee spell attack for the hand using your game stats. On a hit, the target takes 4d8 force damage. Melee spell attack. Okay. There it is. Great. I'm probably gonna... Yeah, we'll burn inspiration for this. That's a terrible roll. That's a much better roll. 27 to hit.
Okay, that'll hit.
And 4d8. 1, 2, 3. Roll one of them. 19 damage. Force.
Okay. 19 will smash the cauldron as this hand just flattens it, and you just watch gold coins just spray across the forest from the impact. And when the hand lifts itself up, you can see this like fucking crushed Coke can of a fucking iron cauldron embedded in the ground, and just like this like handprints of like solid gold coins that got mashed on top of it from the hand's strike.
I was gonna wait for 12 seconds or whatever.
Okay.
I'll perceive, I guess. See if I hear anything that got kicked up or any creatures that sound angry.
You just hear the sounds of coins clattering against trees and rocks and falling into the brush around you.
Alright, the hand's gonna go into the pond and just kind of like, shake the water around.
Clean itself up.
Well, it's not cleaning itself. I'm trying to agitate any creatures that might be in there.
Sure. Okay, yeah. The hand splashes around. Yeah. You're all watching as Noelle does this.
Don't touch me.
I feel like there's definitely nothing was wrong with that cauldron because Jacob is finding this really, really funny.
It could be the other way, alright? We'll see.
What'd you do to the poor thing?
Alright.
Do you
last thing I'm gonna do with Baby's hand, it's gonna turn away from the pond, and then it's gonna flip it off. Alright, I've done everything I can to instigate a fight if there is one.
Okay. There is no fight.
And I will carefully creep out and message the others and say, I found some gold.
Yeah, you all would have watched as this giant spectral hand would have scooped up a cauldron, set it down, and then pancaked it and sent gold coins flying all over the forest floor.
Is the cauldron pancaked, or is the cauldron just in the ground?
Bit of column A, bit of column B. It is broken. The cauldron is broken for sure. 19 damage was enough to destroy the cauldron, so...
It's not broken for long.
It is definitely flattened.
But you said it was just...
Poor thing.
flattened.
What did it do?
Okay. If Lauren was here, she would understand, guys.
No. No, the reason I'm saying it's not for long is because my brain went... Barnaby could make something in that corner.
Oh, I mean, if he wants to go, I have no feelings toward the cauldron.
I can fix it.
You're welcome to it.
Barnaby and I will work together to fix it. And I'll mend any burns that are in the metal, and Barnaby can try and bend it back into shape.
Alright. So I'll say as you guys approach and begin kind of inspecting the site, what you have, there is there's a sizable crater, a big fist-sized crater in the ground. The cauldron is like pressed into the earth at the bottom of it, like flush with the earth around it. And there is just like gold coins covering the entire like bottom of this little crater. And there's gold coins scattered all over the ground around you. The flung into the trees nearby. Some like hit the water and sank back to the bottom. It's a lot of gold. There's a lot of fucking gold coins lying here.
It seems like this area is pretty safe if you want to.
Aldrin's gonna go up to Noelle. Do you like smashing things randomly? Is that
okay? Here's the thing.
This
this happened once before to us. Okay, we found a treasure chest at the bottom of a pond, and it turned out to be a mimic, and it tried to eat our druid. Okay, so you'll forgive me if I'm a little suspicious when I see a gold cauldron at the bottom of a pond.
Well, we're gonna fix it. You can pick up the money then.
Oh no. I'll start picking up money.
Okay. So you start scooping gold.
If I've got like 12 seconds on Bigby's hand, he can kind of like, scoop it into a big pile a little bit.
Sure.
Well, to be fair, Noelle should probably get the gold anyway, considering she did buy something for the.
Oh, I mean, I'm happy to split it.
There's a lot of gold here.
Noelle gets a message.
Take the money! Take the money!
I barely spent any of the money I've got.
I am absolutely broke.
We will all split it. I think that's the fairest way to do this.
Okay.
I think it'll probably be a team effort to count it for whoever's not on cauldron duty.
Okay.
Children, do not steal the money. Looking pointedly at Kyron.
Do we get a share?
Well, okay.
Fine.
He looks at you like arms crossed, like, do we?
Here's the thing, guys. Some of us are due to inherit a kingdom's worth of wealth.
I'm not.
Some of
Endymion says
are not. Raise your hand if you're set to inherit a kingdom's worth of wealth.
Endymion raises his hand. Kyron just crosses his arms even more, scowling at everyone.
Well, it doesn't now. If it's just Kyron, I thought it was Kyron and Endymion.
Yeah, no, I don't inherit anything. It's all going to him.
Look, let's just count it and we'll figure it out afterwards.
Okay. Are you retrieving the coins that were scattered to the forest?
I'll get the forest ones. I don't trust that water.
All right. Okay. So gathering as much as you can. We'll count off. All right. So as you guys salvage all of this, bag it up, regroup, and set up a camp later that night, start to counting, you guys would find that you have come into 3,800 gold, minus the 12 coins that splashed into the pond.
Okay. 3,788 gold.
Yep. As far as the flattened cauldron, what are we doing to fix this thing exactly?
I'm casting Mending for any rips or tears in the because if you tend to end it.
Sure.
And then Barnaby is trying to get out the dent.
Got a hammer.
Okay. So this is like a big ass cooking, like a cast iron cooking cauldron that has been flattened like a Coke can. It is basically a fucking like
You said mostly
3-inch thick disc.
Said that there was some stuff in
It is destroyed. Okay, this thing had 18 hit points. Noelle broke it when she dealt 19 to it. It is a broken ass fucking cauldron.
How much does a cauldron cost?
Not much. I just want to know what the approach is.
Well, so like I admittedly like my brain went to like whenever you smash a pot, so like it bows and then sometimes it'll break or like split depending. So I was like, well, I mean, if you can get and to be fair, I don't expect it to be the exact same cauldron it was when it was sitting there. I just
That's
want
fair.
it to not be flat enough that you can actually, like, make something in it. Like,
Maybe cook in it.
Rambo, just for, like, one meal. Because we're not going to be lugging around a giant cauldron with us.
Which is fair.
You want to make gumbo with it?
I mean, I don't want to make gumbo.
Possibly.
But I know someone might make gumbo.
He's like, I'm thinking about
Value
it.
thorough cleaning.
And no, that just adds a uniqueness.
Do you know how dirty money is?
You know how dirty your fingernails are?
No, how dirty are they, Barnaby?
As dirty as whatever you touch.
What if I cast prestidigitation on them?
I mean, all that sounds like is that you're offering to cast prestidigitation on the cauldron.
Sure, I don't know why this cauldron is such a big deal, but
I just
I
want to know
really
what they're
didn't
doing
give it
to
a second
fix it.
thought. If I had known you'd
We
want a
don't
cauldron
waste
this
things,
bad-
and when I was growing up, we don't waste things. See this banjo I got? It's made out of twine, a piece of pan, I think, and some cat string, and maybe some metal in there.
Isn't that the one I got you from Gerge?
The one I got from George.
I'm pretty sure I bought you a banjo from Gerge as a Christmas present. And it was like,
Well.
it looked a lot like that.
Either way, the point is we reuse things as much as we can. I ain't gonna let this go to waste.
I'm not against the cauldron stuff. I didn't think it was a big deal, that's all. Anyway, this is not a tremendously life-changing amount of money for us at this point. So if we just want to split it all ways, that's fine by me.
What would you call it if we put our party babysitter in a bowl?
What?
A cauldron.
Oh, cauldron.
That was terrible.
That's rough.
Are you referring to me?
I believe so.
Alright, so DM, I got it on how I'm gonna fix it.
All right, what's your plan?
We'll
Barnaby?
squish like a Coke can, like from the top down.
Yep.
So I'm gonna put my foot in the mouth of the cauldron and just push down and pull up like I'm pulling up a big boot.
Give me a strength check.
I'll give you bardic inspiration as a show of good faith.
That is... One of 6.
This is very much a Captain America moving Mjolnir moment. You're all watching as Barnaby begins to attempt this, and there's no fucking way this should work because it's a goddamn cast iron cauldron. But you watch as he's straining and straining and straining, and you would swear you could see like one little fucking, like an inch begins to pull up. Barnaby, it is work. Like, this is probably the most strenuous thing you've ever tried to do with your fucking body.
What if Bark like heated the metal a little bit or something to help it bend?
I think
Wouldn't be able to grab it, it'd be hot.
You literally gloves, dude.
I don't want to burn my gloves.
they're metal, aren't they?
Not the glove part. How am I supposed to flex it? Think I can get a gauntlet inside this trigger finger of mine?
Yeah, touche.
I mean, okay, but there've got to be some pretty sturdy gloves, right?
Thank you. I do try.
He resumes trying to fucking haul this thing.
I'm trying to help.
It's work. I mean, you are fucking more red-faced, fucking sweating, panting. But with the 26, I mean, over the course of, we'll say like an hour, off and on, you slowly wrench this cauldron apart.
I'm gonna
And
work up such an appetite for the gumbo I'm gonna make in you.
by the end of it, you have this, like, ribbed cauldron. Like, you can see all the fucking, like, like crinkles from where it collapsed on itself. But it is now up and capable of being filled with liquid.
Roughly cauldron shaped.
Yeah, it is roughly cauldron shaped.
Look at all that character you got on that thing.
Yeah, I think with mending, you can find whatever tears may have appeared in the cauldron and kind of patch those up as you go too. So,
I'll start
26.
vegetation.
This makes no goddamn sense, but you got it.
Like, physics are different here. It's the Feywild.
It's fine. It's a Feywild cauldron.
Mama didn't raise no quitter. End of story.
I will clean the cauldron.
Okay. So, cauldron has been more or less repaired. It has been cleaned. Gumbo is cooked.
And we all get, shoot, I had the number. Some 500 something gold. Was it 3,788?
Yep.
Eight? Yeah.
3788 divided by 7, 8?
If we split it every way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, 7. So 541 gold to everybody.
Nice.
Well, I have money again.
Kyron is very excited to get a pile of gold.
There you go, buddy.
Endymion will very graciously take it for you. Thank you.
500 and what?
41.
I think Aldrin's kind of hugging the gold. He's like, oh, finally. I have money. I have money again.
I don't know if we'll have anywhere to spend it. Well,
I will have money to spend when I get home.
that's true. I assume you're going to get paid, aren't you, Aldrin?
I
I mean, they're all getting paid. I kind of gesture to the rest of the party.
Am I getting paid, DM?
I mean, you get paid a salary. Like, you get paid
Oh,
every
you're salaried?
week. Yeah.
Oof.
You get paid on a weekly basis when you're, at home.
I haven't been paid in weeks.
No overtime for this job. Okay, well,
I will say, Caesimian probably does have like some small incentive structures in place, but we don't have to get into the details of it. But I think you can expect there will probably be an opportunity to negotiate a bonus if you want one later.
all right. As we're sitting around, I guess we probably don't have a campfire, but while Barnaby is making gumbo, Nell's gonna take out the True Love compass that she bought.
Okay.
And I have it closed, I have it capped, so it's not visible. I'm gonna say, who wants to look at this?
I do. Aldrin raises hand. What is it? Show me.
If Aldrin opens it and it points at Aldrin,
That would be fucking hilarious.
That would be fucking
I
hilarious.
am going to say, whoever wants to take a look at it, go for it, and I'll hand it to Aldrin.
Aldrin will open it up.
And looking at the compass, Aldrin, you watch as the dial spins between various members of the campsite. With the notable exception of Barnaby. The needle stops every time it gets close to
Every time it
pointing
goes
at
near him, it just kind of like
it like reverts and starts spinning the other direction.
Yeah.
It's
like
pointing at every single one of you.
Okay, well, maybe it's broken. Maybe
Here, you try it.
Well, I don't want to hold
Pointing
it.
at people.
Here, Kyron, have a go. He'll hand it to the child because he doesn't know what it's for.
What is it? As he takes hold of it.
Which way is it pointing?
It's not moving.
Well, where is it pointing?
He like shakes it. I guess it's me. He like spins it around. Red side, right?
I think so.
Yeah, it's just pointing at me. What does it mean?
It just needs a little red slip on it that just says no.
Pass it to your brother. Let's see what happens. I don't know what's happening.
Pass it to who?
Your brother.
Endymion takes it. And you watch as he's watching it, and he like looks back over his shoulder, like northeast-ish, just like into the forest. It's like, what is it pointing at? Is it specific to each person?
Well, it's been different every time.
He'll hand it back to you guys.
Which one? Oh, when Aldrin holds it, does it stay on somebody the longest, or is it just?
It's just spinning around.
It's sort of beautiful in a way, Aldrin. You love everyone.
What?
What do you mean, what? I can't make it more simple than that.
Oh, that means Kyron only loves himself. Oh, we already knew that.
Oh, did you not know what this was?
No.
No, I said it. Well, I thought I said it.
Oh, I didn't think you did.
This is a love compass, guys. It points at who you are most in love with.
I mean, it could also be that Kyron hasn't met his love yet.
I would guess that that's probably what that means.
Like mine better.
Kyron's just kind of like very furrowed brow, like he's trying to puzzle this out. He's like, I don't know if I like this compass. I feel like it's saying stuff.
That you love yourself more than anything? Yes.
You say that like that's a bad thing.
It's good to like yourself.
It's
It's
good to
just
like
as
yourself
confidence.
and
As long as you're not self-absorbed.
excellent way to put that, Barnaby. Yes, listen to Barnaby. He said something intelligent.
Thank you, I usually do.
Glance back at the needle holder, and you just see that needle starts to spin fully 360 degrees now.
Barnaby, do you want to hold it?
I mean, it's a compass. Does it work?
That remains to be seen, but it seems like it's doing what it said.
I mean, yeah, it's a compass. It points it north.
It's gonna point
I'll
at
take
the
it.
gumbo.
Okay. Barnaby grabs it.
True loves gumbo.
Okay.
It points at the pot.
Yeah.
I think there's probably a few directions it's pointing.
Oh.
The pot's definitely one of them. I think it also spins towards Bark.
Oh.
And I think it also spins south. Just kind of into the woods.
Oh. I think this thing's broken. It ain't pointing north. It's just going all wibbly wobbly.
I guess your true love is at the Tower of Gobi.
Oh no, sorry. There is one other thing that this compass might want to point at. Bertha.
Yeah, it's
Does Barney love Bertha, or does he?
I mean, he keeps referring to her as a girl.
That's doesn't mean he's in love with her.
I could, though.
You can have platonic female friends.
Loud platonic female.
They've all been loud. This is the third one. Actually, no, the first one, she wasn't too loud.
The bow and arrow, yeah, that was pretty quiet.
I think you got ripped off. This compass don't work. As I hand it back
Are
to
you
Noel.
not listening? It's a true love compass.
How does a compass do that? All a compass does is point north or south.
I would answer your question, but you wouldn't acknowledge it.
Well, there's your answer. You got a broke compass.
Berber, you want to take a look?
I think half of the joy is in the finding it yourself,
Roll insight.
Of course. Natural one. Damn.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, in fairness, I would push and say, well, it's not going to tell you anything specific. It just points in a general direction. You can still find whoever you're looking for.
I am all right, thank you.
Fair enough. Noah will...
Plaid's making faces over there.
I'm so sad I rolled low on that insight check. That would have been so interesting. Alright, Noelle's gonna take it, and she's just gonna hold it real close and just peek at it for herself.
Plaid's continuing to make faces over there.
Yeah, that's a weird one, huh?
There's a reason I didn't look at it, Plaid.
You... The compass doesn't really focus at first. It seems like it's just kind of like it's rotating searchingly. Like there's definitely an uncertainty to what you're seeing there. But eventually you do see it kind of come to a stop and then slowly begin to rotate and point sort of kind of to the northwest, like over your shoulder. But you do see it does kind of waver a little bit. You see that the needle starts to kind of drift a little bit to one side.
She's on the move.
Interesting. And Jade's fast. Interesting. Alright. Well, if Berber does not want to look, that will be the end of the campfire shenanigans.
Alright. With that, then, I think you guys will have a fairly peaceful rest tonight.
Are we doing watches?
Nah, we don't do watches. Nothing's happening in the night.
We do watches?
Do you want to do watches?
What about the evil pond?
If you feel the need, go for it. Go ahead and roll.
I want to fish in it.
I mean, I don't. We don't need to unless there's a specific reason someone wants to.
Was there something you wanted to do at night, Kat, while Burberry was on watch? Say.
It's okay.
Because we can do that.
I mean,
we just don't need to, we don't have to roll for the perception
We'll be
checks
taking
today.
watches. It's just whether or not you wanted to do anything.
Yeah.
Nah, we're good.
Oh.
All right. So, day 36.
For my own tracking purposes, where are we on the map at this point?
You guys should be... So you were at 4.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At this point, you should be at like halfway through 10.
Halfway through
basically.
10? Okay.
Yep.
I'll be right back.
Okay. So you're making good time, and you are avoiding detection without too much issue. Could I get another D100 roll for today?
I can do it.
Go for it.
Team.
15. Okay. With a 15, you say?
Find a golden cauldron at the bottom of a lake.
Another one? They just keep appearing.
Wow, how lucky.
How peculiar. Okay. Okay. And what's the pace today?
Probably back to normal. You're
Normal.
not seeing any war camps nearby?
Okay. Yeah, at present, you guys are pretty. You're well clear of the one that you passed the day before. And you're not really seeing much ahead of you as far as the sky goes. What's that thumping over there? You alright?
That wasn't me.
What was it?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it was Cat.
Wait.
So, moving on. Heavier rains today. I will say at this point, you're starting to enter a region of the forest that is it's getting a little rockier, and the tree cover is starting to kind of thin out a little bit because of that. You're seeing a lot of kind of like elevation changes. These like small cliff faces that kind of rise up a good 30 feet, kind of disrupting the kind of even terrain that you've been growing accustomed to these past several days that you've been moving. Sort of like you're crossing kind of the foot of the mountain range to the north of you, right? As we're moving today, could I get stealth checks from the party? Since we are moving at a slow pace still, or are we moving
This is
medium
normal
again?
pace.
Normal. Okay, never mind then. Perception checks then. Just perception.
Nat 1.
No,
9.
it's distracted. Let's say... Sorry. 9 as well.
9s. Whew.
17 again.
What did the kiddos roll?
Perception checks.
Did you get mine?
What was yours?
17.
17. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Oh, and for record watchers, whatever, I say no whenever I get less than a 10.
I got it.
If you got a 9, you would have matched 2 of us.
All of that, I match 2 of you.
We all got 9s!
Hey. So John, it sounds like, is the only one who notices this late in the afternoon as you guys are traveling through this rainy, rocky terrain. Very softly, John, off to your right, kind of above you, sounding like it's kind of coming from a rocky outcropping you're sort of walking beneath. You hear the very faint sound of like gravel just kind of sliding and clattering down. And turning, you would see a pack of 4 displacer beasts slowly creeping up behind your group.
Okay. Do they have clear line of sight to us? Am I able to tell?
Yeah, no, they're like up on a rocky outcropping, like hunkered down, like stalking your group. As you're sort of like walking, like passing their little hiding spot where they were camped out, it looked like. And it looks like one of them is in the midst of like standing up to jump.
Is there any cover around us anywhere?
There's some trees, some boulders.
Is there any branches fairly high up?
Branches? Yeah, I mean, these are fairly tall trees. They're like, somewhere between 70 to 100 feet tall. Like these are big old trees.
Could I just who's next to me?
Given the marching order you guys have maintained at this point, I think you're kind of in the middle of the pack with Barnaby and Aldrin.
I'm gonna tap Barnaby, say ambush from behind, and then I'm gonna bamf up to one of the tree branches up above.
Okay. Let's get some initiative rolls then while we're getting this set up.
Okay. $16. Roll. Well.
16, 12,
16.
16.
Rolled a freaking nat 20.
Ooh, total of 20?
21.
21, good shit. And John, initiative?
18.
18, okay. Kyron and Endymion. Okay. Good shit. So, top of the order. I'm going to say John is the only one who's not surprised since he made the perception check. Top of the order would be Aldrin and Kyron. Kyron did also pass his perception check as well, though, so he is just going to fucking grab Endymion, and they're both going to vanish.
Go, Kyron.
John, teleporting up into a tree. What else are you doing?
I want to prepare to drop an attack or any displacer beast that comes into range for me to attack.
Okay. Is this like a tree near the cliff face? Is that the idea?
Just one that's like in general above where the group is at.
Oh, got it. So you're gonna like drop down on anything that gets close to them.
Anything that gets close, I'm gonna just drop an attack.
Got it. Okay. So then Noel, Barnaby, and Endymion. The first displacer beast is going.
Sorry, before that happens, if I rage now, do I lose it or do I have it until my next turn?
If you rage now, as long as you damage something for the end of your next turn, I believe it would be.
Yeah, it'll last until the start of your next turn. So as long as something happens in this round, you'll keep it.
Yeah. Your rage lasts 1 minute, ends if you get knocked unconscious, or your turn ends and you have not attacked a hostile creature since your last turn or taken damage since then. So yeah, so you could start at this turn, and then as long as you do something on your next turn, you're good.
Okay, so I want to rage it on my turn then as well.
Okay. So yeah, so John is raging. He's in a tree. He's ready to drop. That is going to take us to first displacer beast. So we are going to. He's going to jump down, and we'll go for one of the two little guys.
Children?
No, they're invisible.
Oh, okay.
The other two little guys.
Hi. I'm the other two little guys.
Yeah, so Barry is getting attacked by a displacer beast who jumps down. That is going to be a 19. Oh, no, excuse me, dirty 20. Oh, no, 21. That's a 15.
Still no.
Damn it. Okay, that's one miss. And that's another miss. Got it.
I think what happens is the first one tries to attack Barry, like, literally yanks on the handcuffs.
Fucking pulls him out of the way. Sure. Okay.
And the same thing happens, but on the other side.
Yeah. So, John, with your reaction then, you're able to fall out of this tree and attack the displacer beast.
Yeah.
So you are going to be attacking with disadvantage due to the displacement ability this thing has.
Okay, but I can use my what's a thingy to attack with advantage to negate that, right?
Reckless attack can only be used on your own turn, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
So this will be a disadvantage.
Okay. So my attack is. So that is a 16 to hit.
16. That'll do it. That'll hit.
Okay. So that is.
And as you're dropping down 30 feet, you're going to split 14 damage with this thing. So you'll both take 7.
Which is half again for me. So I take 3.
Yep.
So it takes 7 plus. Let's see. It takes 1d10, which is a perfect 10. 1d8, which is 2. So. So. Plus 8, so that is 20 damage plus 7. So 27 damage for him.
Okay, good damage. So one big hit as you plunge into this thing. It is no longer displaced. It will not be until its next turn. The remaining 3 displacer beasts going after Burberry, who is surprised. They are going to jump down and also attack Burberry because he is small. That's a miss. That'll hit. That's a 25.
Yes, that will hit.
Yeah, get the Burberry. So you're gonna take 14 damage total.
Okay.
That's gonna be like 8 bludgeoning and 6 piercing.
Yeah, sorry, I'm mathing.
Okay.
Right, that's why I'm making quizzical faces, don't mind me.
That's fine. Second displacer beast. Miss. And final displacer beast, I think, will probably jump on Noel, because I think Burberry's always surrounded. Does a 23 hit Noel?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That's going to be 11 total damage on that hit.
Ow.
And second hit, that'll also hit. That is a 24.
Yep.
Fuck. Snake eyes. 6 damage total. Okay. Top of the order, Aldrin. A quartet of displacer beasts have leapt from a cliff face behind you, kind of bounding down the rock and lunge at Burberry and Noel. Chiron and Endymion have vanished. You do not see them.
Perfect. Is there like a group of them that isn't surrounded with friendly people?
They're all pretty bunched up. 2 of them are on Burberry, who is next, like pretty much right next to you as part of your formation. And the other one kind of bound around you guys towards Noelle, who's at the front of the pack, since she's been kind of on perception point duty.
Okay.
I guess there'd be 3 around Burberry, technically. Because John jumped on one of them.
And I think I'll use his base step, which has a thingy. Yeah, so I'll do face step,
Okay.
and I'll just kind of teleport him into the middle of them.
You are in the middle of them. You don't need the teleport, because you're like, you were standing next to Burberry, and Burberry is surrounded by them.
I'm a very visual person. I thought I was far away or something.
No, you are in the middle of the group, because that's where you've been with the kiddos and Burberry for your decoy thing.
Okay, well then
Yeah.
I will
let them have it.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. You want to attack the one John's already hit, or do you want to hit one of the other ones?
I'll attack the one. Because I have 2 attacks. I'll hit the one hitting Burberry and the one hitting Noel.
Okay, sure.
So the one hitting Burberry will 18.
That'll hit. Oh, with disadvantage, don't forget, because they are displaced with their shimmering camouflage ability. 13 total?
Yeah.
Meets it, beats it.
That's almost as low as he can roll.
That'll still do it.
I'll go ahead and use one of my paladin spells.
Sure. Are we schmiting?
Yeah. So I think that's only, if it's just the first level, it's just 1d8, right?
2.
It's 2.
2d8.
Brain. 27 damage on that one.
27 big damage. Good hit.
And then he'll do the same thing to the one hitting Noel.
Okay.
16 to hit.
16 will hit.
I'll use another first level spell. It'll be 26 damage.
26 damage. Good hit. 2 big hits. So, in very short order, we are bloodying several of these displacer beasts. Not bloodied, but they're taking some damage. Chiron and Endymion are nowhere to be seen. That will take us to John, Noel, and Barnaby.
I'll fire my gun.
Sure.
Yeah, go
Which
for
one
it.
do you want to shoot?
Farthest one away from me.
Are these displacer beasts feral? Just for curiosity.
I mean, they don't have any markings or collars on them
Okay.
that you can see.
Farthest one away from me, DM.
Okay, so that'll be the one probably on Noel then.
Nat 20.
Oh yeah.
Is that with disadvantage?
All right. Wait. Why do I get?
Oh wait,
have-
no,
wait.
no, because Aldrin just hit it, so that works. Yeah, that's a nat 20.
All right, that's Nat 1.
Oh,
Yep,
yeah.
that goes through.
All right.
Displacer beasts lose displacement until they.
I'm about
get
to
their turn
displace
back.
their guts.
Yeah, probably.
Let's see. Four to 6.
Shit. Yeah. That's a lot of damage. I mean, you blow a sizable chunk out of this creature, and it like staggers backwards, bleeding very, very heavily from that wound. It is not looking good.
Place that. And then
It
I
just
fire
hisses
again.
at you. Oh, you shoot it again. Okay.
Yeah.
Do it.
Let's see. 18. That's with
18,
sharpshooter
that'll
again.
hit.
28.
28 damage. That is one dead displacer beast.
I use Deadeye.
2 gunshots and it hits the ground. Who are you shooting next?
The one
There's-
farthest away from me that is not dead.
All right, that's the one John's fighting then.
All right. That's going to be a hit. That's 18 plus 14.
Yep.
And not as good damage. That is 12.
12.
12. And I don't get sharpshooter on dead eye.
Why not?
I thought it's only on attack actions, not bonus action. Because dead eye is a bonus.
Your ranged weapon attacks ignore half cover and 3/4 cover. Before you make an attack with a ranged weapon that you're proficient with, you can choose to take a -5 penalty to the attack roll. It doesn't matter if it's the attack action. It's just an attack.
Oh, well, I know that for next one then.
All right. Anything else then, Barnaby, or are you done?
Yeah, I already used my bonus action, so yep.
All right. That will take us to John or Noel.
How many displacer beasts are hanging out?
3, one of which is more severely injured than the other, and one of which is fresh.
I will cast Hold Monster at 6th level.
Oh, shit. Okay. They need to make wisdom saves.
Sorry, bonus action, I'm going to Unsettling Words, the fresh one.
Okay.
Bad kitty.
Meow. What's the Unsettling Words debuff?
Let's find out. 7.
Damn. It was a nat 20. So 21, but -7, that's a 14.
Lower than 18.
So that's a failure. And the second one rolled a 10 plus 1, so 11.
Okay.
So 2 failures.
So the 2 freshest Displeasure Beasts next to Burberry are paralyzed.
Paralyzed.
Would I be able to get away without taking an attack of opportunity from the remaining one?
Yeah, Barnaby shot and killed the one that was standing next to you. So you are free to move without being attacked.
Okay, I will get away from the other 2, or the other...
Backing up.
Yeah, I'm getting the fuck away from this situation.
Sure. All right, so 30 feet of distance from the party.
And I'll hold the other 2 paralyzed.
Okay.
All right, go for it, John.
Then that is John's turn.
Is the one that I hit still there, or is it dead?
The one you hit is still standing. It is in the worst shape, but is also not paralyzed.
I'm gonna whack it then.
All right, give me a roll to hit.
Is it still advantage or disadvantage?
No, because you hit it before it's, or you hit it after its last turn. So, yeah, you would have just regular attack.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Why did I hold on this one? Natural 20.
Sweet.
As a crit.
It's a crit.
Let them have it.
On this one.
What kind of damage we're dealing?
So that means this is a 2d8, 2d10 plus 8. 6, 5, 6, 4, 3.
And don't forget you're adding another dice from the half-work thing.
Oh yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6. What's the dice? Is it the main dice, or
I think it's one additional damage dice, so your pick. If there's multiple types.
Okay, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 plus 8. So 4, 7. So 6, 6, 7, 8. So it's 12 plus 8 is 10. So 27 again.
Oof. Big damage. That's a big stab. This guy is just hanging on, but he's not looking good.
Well, I'm gonna whack him again.
All right.
That is 14 plus 8. So
that's hitting.
It's a minimum of 8 damage. 10 damage. Can you survive that?
As long as you don't roll ones, I think you're killing it.
Okay. That is 6 plus 8, so
That's a second dead displacer beast for sure.
Okay.
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 Yeah.
I will go over and support the little kitties.
Alrighty, Burberry is surrounded by a pair of paralyzed displacer beasts who cannot move currently. So you are definitely better than you were a second ago, Burberry. What do you want to do?
You know what? We'll have some fun. I'm just gonna cast Guardian of Faith, like right next.
Okay. Anytime a hostile creature enters space on 10 feet of the Guardian for the first time on a turn, it must succeed on a dex save. It's going to automatically fail, so they're both taking 20 damage immediately from this.
You can back away safely first, by the way.
Okay. I like that plan. So we'll do that.
Because they are paralyzed and can't do anything.
They automatically fail dex saves when paralyzed, so that is an easy 40 damage dealt by the Guardian. And Burberry just backs away carefully. Their turns will be spent doing nothing but being paralyzed and attempting to break out of the hold monster. So first roll, failure. Second roll, 18.
That's exactly enough.
Hey, that's a free displacer beast. How do I get rid of a concentration or a condition? I gotta figure that out at some point. Anyways. That will take us to top of the order, Aldrin.
I hit with hammer.
Okay.
Is that like an instant crit?
If you go
On the paralyzed
for
one,
the
yeah.
Paralyzed one, yeah.
As long as you hit, you will have advantage.
Okay, how terrible does it look?
Worse off than the other one, for sure.
Okay. Oh, I almost critted again. Double critted. I rolled
I mean, you can crit no matter what. This is
I
like
know.
Yeah.
19 plus 11, so.
Yeah, you're hitting.
Well, I'll just go ahead and use my last first level spell.
All right.
Actually, wait, no. No, I won't. I'll just do the 3d8 if he's looking worse.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your damage then. Just double your dice.
Oh, it's supposed to be 68 either way? Because it's wait,
Yeah, if it's a crit, you double the amount of dice you would roll.
I'm just being really stupid right now, sorry. Let me roll that again.
If we're talking about your weapon, it would be 2d8 with the hammer.
So 20 damage.
20 damage?
Yeah.
Okay. It is still standing.
Cool, he'll hit it again. 19 to hit.
That'll hit.
$19 damage.
That'll kill it. In short order, you have killed 3 of the 4 displacer beasts. The last one is now looking around at your party very, very, very concernedly. Whoever wants to go next, it's literally everyone before this thing.
Is it going to take damage from the Guardian first? Oh, no, sorry, that's on its turn, isn't it?
It already did, yeah.
And Hold Monster's no longer doing anything.
Correct.
Do we want to kill this thing? Or do we care if it runs off?
I mean, I don't think it's a big deal if it runs off.
I'm gonna okay. If it seems like it's scared, does it seem like it's scared?
It definitely senses that this fight has turned against it, and this has gone horribly, horribly wrong. It is like hunkering down, like tentacles writhing, looking like it's about to like try back away.
Okay, I'm gonna use Universal Speech.
Okay.
We're becoming very good at killing your kind. You need to stop attacking us.
Give me an intimidation check.
No, it's not rolling super great this session. That's a 15.
Okay. You watch as this displacer beast, like the lips just peel back from the teeth, just. It's a huge hiss. Ears back, eyes wide. It is not happy to hear that.
Oh, that little guy's angry.
So, anything from anyone else?
Nah.
If it doesn't run away, I'll take a shot at it.
If it hits us, can I roar back at it?
Sure.
John, just let the intimidation roar right in.
Yeah, give me another intimidation check then.
Okay. Sorry, I haven't done intimidation while I find it. So that is a 16 plus 6, so that 22.
Okay. Yeah, no, it is. I mean, it's hissing at Noelle. It's hissing at you now. Just like there's like a claw that like fucking swings out just to push you back. You know, kind of threatening, but very much poised to back away and start running. Are we letting it try?
I have no.
I think Barnaby said he was going to shoot it if it fled.
Okay.
I was going to shoot it if it didn't flee.
Oh, if it
Okay.
Okay, that's my bad.
Yeah, I mean, if nobody's taking any action on it, it is going to disengage and begin to retreat. It is going to fucking claw its way back up that cliff face the way it ran down and just kind of vanish over the lip of it. And you just hear the sound of brush rustling as it fucking darts out of
Tell
sight.
your friends to never come back if they want to
Tell-
live.
Tell what?
Tell your friends to never come back if they want to live.
Didn't we just kill its friends?
The rest of it's... You know what I mean.
No, I have a feeling we're going to end up as like a nightmare story for Displacer Beast children.
We're becoming very good at killing Displacer Beasts.
Got a lot of
We're
practice.
gonna be the boogeyman of Displacer Beast.
Are they like the raccoons of the Feywilds? They're just everywhere.
Sort of feels like it.
You hear rummaging outside your house at night. You go check the trash can. There's a big fucking 6-legged tiger with tentacles
Just
coming
get
out
a
of its
fucking
back.
like rake and just kind of like... No.
Come on, shit.
Fucking hissing and swinging. Yeah. Well, good job fending off those bad boys. You guys came out of that very, very, very well. No issues, no difficulties.
Children?
Hey, we're here.
Okay.
Much better off this time.
Yeah, we didn't really have to go far. You guys killed those things really fast. They'll just decloak and walk back up next to you in Burberry. And you'll hear Endymion Burberry. It's like, are you okay?
Most definitely, friend. It's useful. You were both very good at. Well done.
I mean, we've got a lot of practice at that too, so we could probably maybe, if you need help next time, we could take a couple shots.
Think you could give John some pointers on, or not John, Barnaby some pointers on stealth.
I mean, or that, yeah, probably, sure.
I can stealth just fine. It's this armor that doesn't want to cooperate. Just being obstinate.
Clang, clang.
Yes, because Evans, you know what? I think it gets it from its daddy.
Yeah, the guy that made it, he didn't know what he was doing.
Well, with that, I think we can probably wrap the session up here. You guys would be able to finish out the day of travel, begin another long rest, and wake up the next morning without too much issue. So we will be picking up on the 37th day of your journey in the Feywild next time.
Okay. Where are we on the map as well?
Feywilds for over a month.
Yeah, it's been
Y'all been at this for a while. Let's see. You guys were at the halfway on the 10 at the beginning of the day.
Yeah.
So I think you're halfway on the 11
Perfect.
at the beginning of this next day.
I estimated just about right. Okay.
So you'll have 1, 2, 3, probably 4 more days before you hit the border. Like 3.5 days, basically.
MVP.
Yep. Who's MVP?
I'll nominate John.
Oh, my thing's been up this whole time.
I'll give it to Aldrin in this one, I think.
That sounds good to me. He did catch the kitty cats.
Eh.
Me? I didn't do nothing.
I was saying John.
Oh, got it. I was like, I didn't do anything.